I'm invisible. You can't.
Okay, we got kilobits flowing. Sorry we're a minute late.
Look, I'm John Cena. You can't see me.
She wore a green shirt. Are you kidding me?
Oops. I didn't realize this was green. It's more. Okay, it's kind of green.
It's bright green. It sure is.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of people making comments in chat already.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
So, let's see.
Well, I'll do the intro.
Okay.
Because it's already 7.
You're already rolling, yeah.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kim of Kim Fixes Things, except when I break things. You can find my YouTube channel elsewhere on YouTube at Kim Fixes Things. All one word. And you are here on the Buff Del Campo channel. You already know that because you clicked here and found us. I'm here with Buff Del Campo, the namesake of our channel. I will be the director engineer. Is electronic engineer? No. Studio engineer.
Studio engineer. I guess that sounds good.
And he will be your host. Although we have a tendency to work together. I talk over him until I get tired. I look like a ghost.
You're gonna have to change. You're gonna have to go change.
All right, I'm gonna have to go change. Before I go and change, I'm gonna award some points. Everyone who's been here since 7. So Paul Pajui, Olive, Buddy, Mexican Spec. All of you who have made a comment, you all get 3 points tonight. I'm feeling generous. And because I'm a ghost. Yeah.
Well, his green truck shows.
Welcome, everyone.
Mexican Spec sent me some pictures of 68s because I put a 68 up there. I guess he thought it was the Euro 68, but it's not its favorite cars. But I always like that bright green carryall, whatever it is. And he sent me a picture of it, so I put it up because I like the color. They can
see the truck through your hat too. You're wearing green. It's
not. Oh, this hat always has a little spot where you can see through it. Yeah, but your shirt is like you just see like a head floating around and arms floating around. It's kind of weird.
If I'm invisible, that means I might be naked. You never know.
Oh, please.
All right, I'm going to change.
Johnny C's here. Good evening. Yeah, this hat. Well, the hat I usually wear has green in it, so it just looks like my head's lopped off. So I put this one on, and it's from Los Algodones in Baja California, and it's a place I used to go, but it's got some green on it too. So I don't know, maybe I can find a bright orange cap or something. I don't know. So, oh wow, a lot of people here already. Let's see, Gearhead 6971 here. Good evening. Looks like we're beaming up. She was beaming up, not me. She was beaming up, huh? Yeah, she had to actually go beam up, and I don't know what she was thinking. She put that bright green shirt on, and it's a shirt that's that bright green color they use like for workers alongside the road, like that. It's one of those bright green shirts, so it just disappears.
Apparently, that's invisible.
Your invisible color.
Invisible color. Oh, this one's got wrinkles.
Wrinkles.
I need to start dressing up nice. I do my makeup a little bit in my hair. You'll notice my face is a little sun-kissed. I was working outside with the pressure washer, and I got a little bit.
Is the hat made out of cotton?
Burned.
Like algodones? This cap, I don't know. But algodones means city with cotton, I guess. Because that whole area there on both sides of the border is cotton fields. and Los Algodones. It's one of my favorite little towns. It's a nice little town, border town of Mexico. I don't know, 2,000 or 3,000 people, but I bet the population during the day is 5 times that because the Americans and the Canadians that are there. Crashes Roadrunner Garage is here. Good evening.
Welcome, everyone. Did we say hi to Gearhead?
I did.
And Johnny C? Well, I have now as well. Welcome, everyone. It's once again Tuesday night. Can you believe it's already been a week? How does that even happen? We have been diligently addressing things with our projects, and doing stuff, making plans.
Well, we did 3 lives between last.
We did. We did a bunch of
We
lives.
did 3 lives at the shop.
We were up at the shop getting things done.
And I think we were up there
talking
every
to
day.
people. I don't think we did 3 lives. You really seem to.
I know. I went on and I counted. You're going to click out of that. Okay, thanks.
No, we don't want advertisements.
I was grabbing
People
this.
Are just getting here. Mofo Driver is here. Welcome to the stream. It's not Buck. It's Buff. But that's okay.
I grabbed this mouse and it wouldn't manipulate. Wouldn't manipulate your cursor.
Yeah,
that's why I didn't click out.
We are in our studio here in Clarksville, Tennessee, and we have all the technologies. We've got dueling computers. We have 5 monitors. I'm not exaggerating. We have 5 monitors. We have the big screen. It's up on its side so we can read your chat messages. We have the big monitor in front of us so we can see how pretty our faces look. And we can see the things that I'm computerizing to make sure we know what's going out. Over there we have his second screen. He's got 2 screens. I've got 3 because, well, you know, I'm in charge. But he's got a screen where he can see things. And then he's got the screen where he can show things to me to put on the stream. I have my screen. That's his. You're seeing his screen. The same thing is on this screen as that screen. But we also have my screen where I can bring you up where I can bring you web left. What is web left?
Web left? I don't.
Where I can bring you Plymouth Turismo.
You have all these notes.
I also have web right because I like to have two screens so I can click back and forth so I can peruse around the internet without, I can go back and forth, so I can look in one chat, or I can look in one Google search while I show you a different Google search, so he can talk and I can work. And then, yeah, I can click all over. We can even travel through time with our screen. I can move us around on the screen.
Geez, you're going to make them dizzy.
No, they could see. I can make us bigger. I can shrink us. Wow, we're getting small. I can make us big.
I'm going to get right off to this. I know you're showing all the screens, but
I was showing them all the technology.
Gearhead sent pictures.
Oh, okay.
So
tonight we're talking about your favorites. No specific year, just your favorites. Favorite something. Favorite muscle car, favorite race car, favorite truck, favorite whatever it is that you that was the topic. That was Buddy Carafano's suggestion, and some other people agreed. So that's what we're going to do tonight. As always, if you want to send us a picture of your very own project car or something in your fleet or collection that you enjoy, it's always welcome. It doesn't have to be on topic, but tonight it's pretty easy to do. Say, this is the favorite picture I have today on my phone to send to you. And you can send it to our email at buffdelcampo@gmail.com, and we'll get it live.
Can you get us out of the prehistoric times? Because I put up Gearhead's picture.
You have to wish upon a star. Makes no difference who you are. Any wish your heart desire will come to you.
This is...
Uh-oh, we're going to get demonetized.
Why?
Because I'm singing a song.
Okay, so we got people to say hi to here.
More people. Tommy Hanlon's here. Luis Miguel Sarez Barrios is here.
Barrios, yeah. And Mark Sanquist is here. Did you say that? Crashes Roadrunner Garage. They're showing up. You're typing in something, okay? Oh, Rugrats? What is this? Why are we going to...
I don't know. See, that's the thing, right? We're live.
Luis wants to know about Rugrats?
Rugrats Go Wild. See, I can do that. I have the magic that I can make anything I want appear.
What's that got to do with our favorite cars?
Just that I have the power of the internet.
Okay.
He just wants to see if I'm telling the truth. If we're really live or if we're just BSing.
We're really live. And then this is another one that who sent this? Gearhead sent in. And I really like that. Looks like green is the color tonight.
Is it?
Well, I don't know. It just we started off kind of on green, and then more green, and more green. It's okay. Louis says, anyway, today I'm watching Rugrats Go Wild when I saw that scene when the adults chasing Donnie Thornberry, and that was so very funny. Just like in the movie Speed Trap from 1977 movie.
I haven't seen
You said
either
favorite,
of those
Buff.
movies.
You didn't specify cars. That's right. Just whatever you're like.
Favorite movies.
One of your favorite cars from...
See,
Yeah, I guess I didn't specify
you
cars.
butchered it. It was your
I didn't
fault.
specify cars. Well, I thought we did, but maybe we didn't.
Maybe we didn't.
So,
too late now.
I
We'll
thought-
have to just enjoy it.
I thought-
Allow everyone an opportunity to participate just a little bit. Limelight or Sublime is my favorite Mopar color. Which is Sublime?
I don't know, but that looks really good, doesn't it?
Is
Yeah,
Sublime also green?
Yeah, they had two of them that were kind of they were both really bright. I think one of them had a little metallic in it. And this one, somebody's painted the bumpers. I don't think they were originally painted, were they? I think it looks good anyway. I like it like that.
It's a little warm tonight in the
Oh, it's a little warm. The reason it's a little
we're
warm,
having technical difficulties.
our air conditioning took a crap. And of course,
It's going to be expensive.
it always is. I'm going to do a video on that air conditioner. Oh, Barrows is here. Good evening.
Welcome to the
I gotta do
stream,
it.
Barrows. Good to see you.
You know, every year I had the air conditioning heater thing serviced, and every year the guy says, you know, this thing's getting old. You got to replace it. Someday you're going to have to replace it. Yep, someday you're going to have to replace it. One year I said, I was working, making good money. I said, yeah, go ahead and replace it. And it was like $7,500. And that thing is used twice the power. Every year it craps out. It's just, and it's like a new car. It's got circuit boards and whatever, all this electronic crap. It's not simple. Use a lot of electricity. And it breaks, and it breaks, and it breaks.
I'm still working through the diagnosis. I think we've eliminated the thermostat. The thermostat, we reset the thermostat. It doesn't run on batteries. It runs off the power from... Anyways, the thermostat's doing everything it should be doing. It's trying to call for cold, but...
In the meantime, it's hot and humid in here, and we just got to deal with it.
Yeah, tonight it's pretty... And then we get in this room, and usually it either feels good because it's cold outside and the extra heat is nice, or we're running the AC and the extra heat's not a problem. But we got like 1 billion watts of electricity here so that we have nice bright lighting. And it feels like we're in a sauna. Have you ever been in one of those... A dry sauna?
Do you think it's cooled off outside enough we could just open a door? Of course, then all the bugs will come in.
Well, we can open... There's a couple of windows that have screens. The bathroom window has a screen. Kitchen window has a screen. The my bedroom window has a screen.
Oh, I wanted it, that door that's right adjacent to us. I want it just wide open.
Oh, every bug in the neighborhood.
Every bug in the neighborhood will come in. That's right.
And so that's the other thing, right? I went out to tinker with the... to do some testing. I had to test like the breakers and the circuit boards and stuff like that out there. That car was one of my favorite. That car, is there anyone who doesn't like this car? Is this anyone's not favorite car? Like they're like, no, I don't really like the early 70s Barracudas. They're just not fantastic. They're just not the peak of muscle car styling. No.
Mexican Fix says you can't use a fan during the live. They're too loud. You know what? We've got a fan down
There's
under
one
this table,
there.
and it is blowing. It is moving a little air, but not much.
Yeah, like everyone loves having hot air blowing in their face. It's
Anyway,
fantastic.
that air conditioner I bought I regret that. The other one was just a simple mechanical thing, and this one's an electronic nightmare.
The HVAC guy is not absurdly expensive. He'll do us right and get it working, but it's not going to be cheap either. Like, it's going to cost money that we had not hoped to spend. We have other plans for our monies this month. We're trying to get parts for his car rounded up.
Yeah, I got to get a car up
There's a plan
here.
going together, but we don't want to announce it until we know it's going together.
Mexican Specs, why am I not a fan of the E-body? I have driven them. You know, they are kind of big. they're a pony car. They're small. It's supposed to be like a Mustang or a Camaro or something, but they are noticeably larger, and but they're still nice cars,
They have a pretty big nose considering
Yeah.
the car. The engine and everything kind of ends like a foot before the front of the car. I don't know why it has to have all that body on the front of cars. That was just the
Rods
style.
and Street Cars. Hello, good evening. How you doing?
Hey Rob, welcome to the stream. Anyways, I was out there trying to diagnose it, and it turns out that particular little spot where the breakers and the service panel, it is like I was out there for 5 minutes. I got 2 mosquito bites. There's poison ivy growing everywhere right in there. And I look down and there's a a great big tick crawling on my hand. And I know the difference between a bug and a tick. It was a tick and it's crawling on my finger and I'm flicking it and it's grabbing on like it doesn't want to let go. I'm like, get off of me. So when I get bit by mosquitoes, I get the itchy. My skin starts crawling everywhere. I'm like trying to figure out what's wrong with this thing, but like, I'm just like, this is too much. So I got to go out there and fumigate and remove all the itchy bushes and things so I can get a look at it.
Rob, where are you? Where's Rob? He's got bad storms going on. I'm just curious.
Oh, they had some really
there's
bad
a big
storms
line
up in Pittsburgh.
It goes all the way like from Texas and then kind of spotty just north of here up past Pittsburgh. It was really bad.
I have friends in Pittsburgh. I saw a bunch of posts on Facebook of trees down and shingles coming off of people's roofs and stuff like that, branches, windows busted, but hopefully not really injuries and stuff like that, just really aggressive whippy wind and tornadoes, although I didn't see any evidence of specific touchdowns of tornadoes, but lots of trees and stuff like that.
Electric tennis rackets, you know those things? You ever used one of those? Looks like a tennis racket, but it isn't.
I've heard of stuff.
It's an electric thing, and when you swing it by a fly or something, it just fries them.
I'm going poison. I don't like using poison. I really dislike using poison, but I've got this stuff that sprays out of the hose, and I'm going to fumigate tonight, and then I'll try and figure it out tomorrow. Before we call the service guy, I just like to do the basic troubleshooting because it's expensive for him to come out and trip a breaker. He knows that. So we've checked all the breakers. It's got power. The little light is flashing normal. Like there's a light on the board that flashes, right?
Yeah, it's like the old OBD, the first OBD system where it flashes so many lights for codes, it's one of those things.
It says normal, no request for compressor. So there's 2 boards. There's one board that's the overall unit control, and then there's another board that's for the air conditioning compressor. So it's not getting a request for heat or for AC. So I'm pretty sure it's the other board because we've got the thing in here that seems to be working. The thermostat on the wall seems to be working. It's trying to, and the fan runs, the circulating fan runs, but nothing happens out there. The little blower on top, compressor, none of it seems to run. And it's not.
Well, one thing
the board says it's not trying to run it, so it's not like a relay or a what's the big? It's not a run capacitor, or else it would give me a code that the motor won't start or something like that. So I think it's a board.
Bypass all that crowd and turn it on manually. I don't think we can do that. I don't know.
There is a way for me to bypass the overall control board and just tell the other board to start the compressor and run the AC unit.
Can we put a switch in there?
But I don't know how to do that yet. Okay. And I got bit by so many bugs that I had to run away. And now it's time to stream. So we didn't notice it was not working until the heat of the day came, and it didn't work. So it was late afternoon.
Late in the afternoon, I'm feeling the air blowing out next to my desk. Wait a minute, that's not cold air. It's just air.
That is why I was late getting
I was all soaking wet, and I'm like, why am I so hot? I didn't notice it till like 4:30 or something in the afternoon.
And even if we bypass it so that it comes on manually, we're still going to want to get it serviced because we don't want to have to go out there in the wintertime and turn the heat on manually every day.
It's near your room. You could just run wires and have
Shut
a
up.
switch next to your
No.
bed. Just click it on.
I might be able to buy a new board and put it in. Maybe.
What's this? Kim reminded me to crop the garage door screens. This is all. Oh, and then we had a car made of screens.
Crop the garage door. I'll bet you that's.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
I'll bet you it's a misspelling, or a autocorrect that messes it up. Dang. We need a screen door on the shop so that we can open the door to let some air in, but not let all the bugs in.
But we have air conditioning that works in the shop.
I know, but sometimes it's smoky or something like that.
Oh yeah,
just
you want
a
to
little
let
bit
it
of air in there. But we worked on some good things. What did we do during the lives that was productive?
What did we do during the lives that was productive?
Yeah,
well,
I
the first
remember.
day I put a lot of tools away.
That's right.
We did a lot of tool putting away, and I brought the toolbox over there, and everybody is disappointed that I was so disorganized. But yeah, I got to pull everything out of the top drawer. The socket drawer is just a disaster. I got to pull all that out and redo it. Harbor Freight has them anyway. These screens. What are you poking me for?
Flip to a different picture. One different picture. Don't just click through. Just put one different, and we'll continue talking.
Hang on. I got to find it. So, I'll go to this one. Another Mexican spec picture, but I kind of like it. I like the bright green, and I like the engine looking like that.
It's an inline 6-cylinder Chevy engine?
Yeah, but look at the nice detail job they did on it. Looks pretty good.
It really does. I like it. Raw Dog's here.
Raw Dog. Good evening.
Had 2 tornadoes in Wisconsin last night, close to I-95, close to
94.
94? Sorry. Oh, messy. Yeah, there was tornadoes today in the place I used to live in Pittsburgh.
Andrew Button, good evening.
Welcome to the stream. So we did tools the second day. I worked on the mini bike one of those days.
You worked on the mini bike, one of them, and then you worked on the, or maybe we did on that, cutting more stuff off that rotten body.
Did we do that during a live, though?
I don't remember. I really don't.
No.
We were just, I don't know, in a live, sometimes we just sit there and talk, and sometimes we're doing something. You were, one live, you were grinding, and I couldn't hear anything.
We did aluminum welding.
Oh, yeah, aluminum welding.
Well, aluminum brazing.
Yeah, aluminum brazing, which that stuff works really well. Yeah, Kim, changing a board is actually pretty simple. I'm sure you could do it without a hiccup.
It's
yeah, but
not
how much
hard.
are the boards? The last time I had a board, the guy said it was $500, and I about crapped, you know.
Oh, I hope not.
And then he goes, well, actually, he says, I think this is still on warranty. And then he had to order the board and came in and put it in, and he did it on warranty. But, you know, I hope it's not $500 for a stupid board. This is new stuff. If that thing is a $500 board, it's going to get hooked to the skid steer and dragged out in the middle of the yard, shot with AK-47.
No, it's not. I want air conditioning. We know it's not a problem with the compressor or the thing or whatever. If it needs a board, we'll put a board in. That's life.
Have no fear. Hey, where was I last night? I was on Have No Fears.
Yeah,
Did you
guys see Dougster's live stream Monday night? Dougster, you were wildly entertaining. I was working in the shop on some, I'm not sure what I was doing, but I was tinkering.
She was up there, I was down here.
So I didn't make a ton of comments, but I said some stuff, you know, for the algorithm to show that I was participating and just.
Well, I'm looking in there. I'm looking at the comments. You're up there in the shop, and you're logged in as me. So I see you. I see I've already commented, but I didn't comment. You commented with my name. So
yeah,
then I commented it down from the house.
Sorry about the confusion, but when I'm logged into the internet up there, I'm him. So I don't have my login with me, and I was just. But anyways, I was listening while I was tinkering, and it was very entertaining. So if you guys have never checked out Dougster's Wolverine Garage, check out his channel, click the little notification bell, and look for him on Monday nights. And we were going to go after Dougster, but he was not feeling well last night, so I just let it go.
Mexican Spec. I don't know. It looked to me like she had one comment and I had a bunch of comments, so I think you were talking to me.
You were talking to both of us, but just not at the same time.
Might say something embarrassing. Well, you know, there's a good chance we're sitting right together looking at the same screen, or we're separated somewhat looking at separate screens. So if you're in a live stream, don't say anything too private, you know, because everybody's there. Yeah, go ahead.
Cutter Down Garage says, I had to put an external fuel tank on my skid steer. Looks similar to your yellow one now, Kim. Kick butt. The big yellow tank is hydraulic oil. And the reason I had to do that is because the towers on the back of the skid loader that the arms mount to, they're cracked at the base. And, well, they're oil tanks, so it's not like we can weld them back together. And they just weep all the fluid out. So I needed a new tank, so I had to start with something new so that we could braze the fittings and everything on and not be using the busted tanks. And then for the fuel tank, we just use this little tank, and it's only about a quart. And man, it runs out fast. That thing runs through fuel really good. But it's a very useful tool. I was dragging some stuff around with it this week.
Johnny C says, is that a 250 cubic inch? I'm not sure if it's a 230, 250 or what. It's one of Mexican Spec's cars that he has listed for sale. He probably knows more about which engine that is. And I just think that's such a nice looking car. And now he's using it for an avatar because that bright green really shows up. And I like it, so I put it up there. Space Cat. Yes, Max, I do dig green almost as much as orange. I like the bright colors, but sometimes I don't like driving something that's that bright. But I do like them.
Mexican Spec says, if you both use the same account, how do I know who is ignoring me? Well, if you think about it, it's both of us.
Well, sometimes she's Kim Fixes Things, sometimes she's me. But if she's up there in the shop and she just turns on the computer and goes to YouTube, it's already buffed El Campo, and she just left it that way. So
Space Cat says a rattle can can make anything green.
Well, probably not this green.
Oh yeah, that green's in a rattle can.
This, I can't zoom in on that, but you can.
Gearhead says it's a nice fan.
That's
Tim is here. Welcome to the stream. He said he was going to take a nap so he could stay late.
And he's back, yeah. And
I haven't missed much. I've been through the introductions, though. And we were talking about our air conditioning is broken.
And that's one of Buddy Carfano's favorite cars he put in. Maybe Kim could make that a little
bit. Oh, it's a Tucker.
I can't zoom from over here. Yeah, there we go. Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, those were really something back then. Yeah, we got a bunch of pictures sent in.
Very unique front end. I don't know.
It is a Tucker.
I remember when I was pretty young and we watched the movie about Tucker, a man in his dream, and that made the car seem very cool to me. That movie. So, but I've never seen one, and looking at it in pictures, it's like,
It's
not my favorite styling.
Okay, está bien. That is a 68 Chevy panel truck. Hopefully the values will go up soon. Everybody wants 67 through 72 trucks. Those don't do well. I really like the 67 through 72. Really like them. Raw Dog, he's gone. Build. I'm not sure. Tim says, got steaks on the grill. So I'll be back and forth watching them. Yeah, keep an eye on them. Don't turn them into something bad.
Usually we leave the important pictures up for a minute or two. So you should be fine, Kim.
Yeah, cut her down. That is a headlight, and that headlight swivels with the front wheels. So it kind of, if you're going around a corner, that center headlight points around the corner.
I've always thought that they should have, because in the movie they said the original design, the fenders moved, but they couldn't do that because aerodynamically it could cause an accident.
It's like having a rudder on the front of an airplane. Yeah, it darts the thing around.
But with modern LEDs, why couldn't you have like a light bar that when you turned this way, it just changed which LEDs were illuminated? Because sometimes it's nice when you're going around a turn to be able to see lights in the direction of where you're going.
Well, you know,
while the car is getting
in the
there.
60s, starting about 65 or 6, Mexican Spec will know what year, they had things called cornering lights on the side of the car. And when you put the turn signal on, that cornering light would light up, and it was on Mercury's. And then some of the Chrysler products, I guess, had it for a while, and they quit doing it. But it was pretty cool because it just, as soon as you turned on that turn signal, it just flood light over there. It's kind of nice. I suspect this green truck is like 8K to the border. It's a nice piece. Yeah, it's probably worth 8K.
Oh yeah.
Easy.
Especially to someone looking for something like that, that's a heck of a great start. I mean, it looks like it's already all cleaned up real nice. Somebody wanted to use that for like a business, want to put their logo on the side of that, and they needed something to haul stuff around in. That, I mean, if that was the right vehicle for you and you wanted to, like, it looks like it's ready to just work, put the work. For 8K, what do you get as a commercial vehicle? Not much. Not here. I mean, Mexico, you get something that's already all fixed up nice. Lots of character and cool.
I just posted today a 70 Chevrolet short bed, 350 automatic, and very red. I just saw one at Barrett Jackson that sold for 115 grand US dollars. Yeah, Barrett Jackson's. You know, if you get there early, the first couple of days are all the inexpensive cars, and then as it goes on, they get the expensive cars are toward the end.
I don't believe everything I see at Barrett Jackson.
Oh,
I just don't.
I saw a 63 Dodge, you know, the B-body Dodge, whatever that was called then, a Polara maybe. It was black on black with somebody had transplanted a Gen 3 Hemi in it. That thing went for $500,000. Oh man, that was several years ago when all those cars were up so high. It's crazy. I mean, it's a nice car, but still.
Because Barrett Jackson, they take a huge percentage of the sale price of those vehicles.
Okay, so we've got
crazy.
Cadillac here from Buddy Carfano in the 62 Cadillac. I guess we'll find a way to do that. That's an Eldorado. Picture a surfboard in there. Yeah, if you're into surfboards. Man, I remember when I was like 14 or so. Probably about 14. Had a neighbor had a 55 Ford station wagon, a two-door, and his mother put a surfboard on the top, and then we'd go to the beach and we'd rent these rubber rafts and go out there and surf on the rubber rafts.
Barrow says 20s and 30s Buicks, Cadillacs did that as well. The fog lights were tied to the tie rods so they would turn with the wheels. That's pretty cool. Mexican Spec says this one has windows so you can sell it as a Suburban and put seats in it. There you go.
I'm putting up some of Buddy Carfano's right now. Oh, Hudson, what about Hudson Hornets? Hudson Hornets. I remember
Mexican
those
Spec
things.
says, my point is that for the 16K I'm asking, there is a potential for huge money to be made on it.
Oh, that's a nice car.
Yeah, for someone who does that, you would think that they would be talking to you, Mexican Spec. I don't know. Yeah, if the markup is tenfold, yeah, you would. I think though there's people who don't want that to because they want the rarity to.
Man, I was reading it.
Hold on.
Everything's scrolled away. She just went scrolling back. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. I lost.
Okay, let's see here. Barrow's my friend Pete, DIY Auto, did a video on Barrett Jackson long while back showing the dark side of that industry. Pete used to sell his metal art at the Dallas auction. Man, I don't know if any of you watched my friend Pete. I was watching him a long time ago, and that's how I somehow accidentally found Uncle Tony. So, well, I was trying to find him because I couldn't remember his name, and then Uncle Tony popped up. So I was watching both those guys. Space Cat, the TV auctions make me ill. They inflate everything out of range of most blue collar guys. Well, yeah, that's why they're TV auctions, so because they get the big high dollar guys there that run the prices way up, get their money. A nice GSX. Yeah, that's one that Buddy Carfano sent in.
I mean, so there's two sides of it, right? If old cars just lose value and no one ever shows that the potential in restorations, then what happens is they'll just get crushed at some point, right? Whereas when people see, wow, someday this might be worth something, it makes people kind of hoard them a little bit, put them away, and protect them. And so some stuff that might not gets saved because people, but then those same people think that they have gold when it's really just rust. So I don't know. You don't want to devalue all the old stuff to the point where it just get. I've seen people like there's junkyards that have closed down. They just crushed everything. They didn't want to be bothered with tire kickers and cheapskates and stuff like that because for years and years everybody's offering them nothing for their old stuff, and they're like, well, this stuff's worthless. It's nothing but trouble. And then stuff gets crushed instead of saved, and I don't know. There's some kind of balance that needs to go on there. Sorry, I'm talking too much.
This is another one that Buddy Carfano sent in, and
that's a really pretty car. It's a shame that picture isn't that sharp.
Yeah, I know.
What is it?
It's a 63 Ford Galaxy. And I remember, it's just some stupid story. I came home one time. My father had his car in the Ford garage, and it was in 1963, and he had a loaner, and it was a white one of those, and I came home, and I saw that thing in our garage, in our driveway, carport, and I was on my bicycle up there. Dad, yeah, where'd you get the Galaxy, So it's a loaner. But I got to ride in it once. It was a brand new car then. What did Dougster say? Dougster, this basically is the same lady. Slightly different dress and earrings, okay. Some old cars are artwork. Yep.
I mean, they're all someone's artwork, someone's baby, someone's project. Someone spent a decade designing this car. You know what I mean? 10 years of their life, probably, making this design the way it is. Someone somewhere in an office, in a factory nook, somebody used, I don't know, clay on a model. First they did a design, then they did a model, then they did a big mock-up. Then they started the amount of work that goes into design of an automobile is insane. I don't know. I'm trying to say.
Andrew Button, I sent you a lark photo I took a while back. You took it a while back or sent it a while back? I don't know how far back it is. I have a ton of emails if it goes back very far. Yeah, if you send it again, I'll show it. Here, can you put up the link?
What link?
To my email.
Oh, it's buffdelcampo@gmail.com. I'll put up the link.
I know you were banning yourself and you're like phased out.
Give me a couple minutes. I'll phase back in, guys. I'm trying.
Yeah, 63. And see, I had a 64 Ford was my first. Well, I think the 63 looks a little better than the 64, but the dashboard is basically the same. The 64 was white background instead of black, and From the inside, they look almost the same.
So if the rumors, if the grandiose ideals are true and real, right? AI should be able to design the best motor ever. You put in the the specifications. We needed to do this. We needed to do that. It should be able to run a gajillion like revolutions of the engine for every possible design, and discover all the weaknesses and run everything through and use all the history and all the potential and build better than we've ever built. Now, I don't really think that's going to happen, but it should be able to do that if used properly. Like, the potential is actually there. If anybody's going to use it right, I don't know, but like, we should be able to get better cars, better engines, better transmissions, better manufacturing processes. It should be able to do that. If it really could do that, if it ever lived up to that potential, that'd be great. At some point, if robots and automation came to really proper fruition, old cars might really not be worth anything. The new cars might be so good that we forget about them.
Can you fix the zoom on this?
No.
Because we're in the engine compartment. This was sent by Andrew Button.
Oh, is that a Studebaker?
Studebaker Lark. And he resent it, and there it is.
$300, Mofo driver. Now you're just rubbing it in.
What is this, Johnny C? Where was Johnny C? For a short time in 1990, I owned a '64 Galaxy 4-door hardtop. It ran beautiful. You know, some of those, very few of them, but some of them, a friend of mine had one, and it had a steering wheel that moved over like the Thunderbird. It slid over, and it was a '64. Now, I had a '64 4-door hardtop. It's just it really wasn't that bad, but it didn't have an engine transmission in it. And I bought it for front end parts for the, the grill and bumper and hood and everything, because somebody had run into my car. And then I pulled the rear end out of it and I used that, but the rest of it went to junkyard. And I think back and I'm like, man, that was too good to go to the junkyard. But at the time, yeah, it was like a $30 car, I don't even know if I paid $30 for it. It was just it was a complete car, but except for the engine and transmission, which isn't a big deal. Yeah, you're going to have a hard time to buy a car with $30, Luis. Space Cap buddy had two '64 Fairlines. Both had 260 in them. My father had 67 with a 289 in an auto. Yeah, it's weird. 60 up through 64, the 221, 260, and 289s all look the same. And they have what they called a 5-bolt bell housing. And in 65 and later, there's a 6-bolt bell housing. And of course, they didn't interchange. So I used to always have a bunch of those bell housings around back in my Ford days. They were for C4 automatics, so I could always make it work. But, man, all that stuff's gone. I think about it now. Yeah, I was talking to Dallas Brown, and he was telling me, he goes, just build a small block board and just do this and just do that. And I'm going, oh man, buy some Fords. They got all these different bell housings and all this different stuff. I said, all that stuff's gone now. I used to have it, but not anymore. Oh yeah, you're moving that Studebaker around. Yeah, it's a Lark 8. In Roman numerals on the side, they said Lark 6 or Lark 8. And that was for the engine. Andrew Button, we had a '62 Thunderbird with a swing-away steering wheel. Yep, and they were just like that. 1 year, '64 Ford, full-size Fords. It was an option, but almost never see it. But he had one. And he was the guy, a friend of mine that was such a Mopar guy. And he had that Ford for a short period of time and sold it. And, of course, he had mostly Mopars. Doug, sir, I bought a 90 Olds Cutlass Calais with a faulty torque converter lock-up switch for $1 and drove it home. Oh, yeah. That was in 2000. Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? And I remember buying some cheap cars, too. One of my '56 Fords had a bad engine. It had a 312 in it. It had a rod through the pan. And I bought that car for $20. And geez, that day I had the engine out of it. And I bought a 65 Mustang that was crashed in the front end with a 289 and an automatic, and I put that in the 56 Ford. Drove that around for quite a while, like a
Well, we
year.
can't have people doing that. Can you imagine if people could put engine from one car in another car? How would we
geez.
sell new cars? They'd just keep fixing the old ones.
Come on, Kim. If that 62 didn't have the wheels swung, it would pop. If that 62 didn't have the wheels swung, it would pop out of park. Ooh,
Linkage worn.
that's not good.
Ford interchangeability. Yeah, Ford is bad
Ford
about
was
that.
really bad about that. Barrows, I still have a 5-bolt C4. I asked one time how many bell patterns Ford had. The parts manager at Ford dealer said, "That's easy, all of them."
Every bolt pattern you can imagine.
Oh man, it used to be easy because there were 5-bolt, 6-bolt, and I had those two. And then of course what we had the Y block, which was different, and then what we called the big block back then, which is the FE, and it was different. And then the small blocks had two different ones. You tear your hair out with that, and you go get a Chevrolet. And I wasn't much of a Chevy guy, but everything from the 6-cylinder to every V8 they made it's just all interchanged. It's so nice.
You know where there's air conditioning?
In the shop.
In the shop. We should be in the shop.
We don't even have a car with air conditioning now.
I have a van. My van has air
Oh,
conditioning.
your van has air. Yeah, we go get in the van later.
My van's got air conditioning, which is the luckiest thing. I never had to do anything to the van's air conditioning. It just worked. Of all the crazy things to have in Pittsburgh, an old van, rusted out, 200,000 miles, but the air works.
You know why?
Nobody ever used it.
Nobody ever used it. Here we go. Mexican Spec sent one of his favorites and also one of my favorites. 1963 Plymouth Fury. And I like 63 Plymouths. There's a B-body. It was the second year for the B-body, and it was a pretty nice one.
Dougster Backaway says about a 90 Olds Cutlass Calais with the faulty torque converter lockup switch.
I read that.
Oh, sorry.
Well, you can read it again.
No, I don't want to read it again. We're trying to read it. Mostly what I wanted to say was if we miss your comment, I apologize. It's not intentional, and that there's a lot of comments going by, and there's two of us trying to read, and that if we miss some stuff or the chat gets away from us, it's okay to repeat yourself, ask again, or say something a second time, as long as you're respectful about it. Give us a minute, try and keep up.
Oh, yeah, Louise says a 58 Plymouth Fury, just like the movie. I like the 57s better because the taillights were up in the fin, but the fin was the same. And the 58 had the taillight round one down below, and it had some chrome up in there, and that was supposed to reflect the light. But yeah, the 58, I think the front end on the 58 may have looked a little bit better. Yeah, Christine, I think is what you're talking about. You want to bring that up?
What's that, Christine?
Yeah, 58 Plymouth, Christine.
Okay.
Yeah, 60,
58?
58. 58. If you put Plymouth, it'll be half the pictures will be Christine. But if you put Christine, you'll get it.
Is it Christine with a C or K?
With a C.
Okay. Do-do-do-do.
Look at that nice long top. That one sits kind of low. And yeah, right where the license plate is, that center picture, right where the license plate is, in the 57, they had vertical bars in there. In the 58, they had horizontal. And the 58 had 4 headlights, and the 57 had 2, and then the inner headlights, same position, they were turn signals. So it kind of looked like it had 4 headlights. And then the tail end on the 57 had the tall lights, and the 58 had the round lights. Barrow says, I like the 58 DeSoto as well. Yeah, 58 DeSotos look pretty good, but my favorite was the 57. I really like the 57 DeSoto, but yeah, we'll put the 58 up there. I like the grill on the bumper, whatever it is, on the 57 a little bit better, but yeah, it looked good. What's the tail end on that look like? Oh yeah, it's got those 3 vertical lights. Andrew Button, have you ever seen a Cadillac? A Cadillac? Yeah, there's a 57. See, I like that grill better. I don't know why. See, that whole bumper and grill, I've seen that on 57 Fords. I've seen it on 58 Fords. I've seen it on a lot of custom cars. And it's a thing that just works real well on custom cars. But yeah, I like those. Look at all the taillights with the three lights on each side in the back.
We didn't talk at all about our newest project.
What's our newest project?
It's a Triumph Spitfire.
Oh,
but
that thing.
We're stripping it down. You guys were talking about $300 cars. Well, this Spitfire came to us very cheaply. I had to go and get it, and the guy put it on the trailer with a forklift because it didn't even roll. Well, it's rolling now, and we've basically cut the entire body off of the frame, and the frame is very workable. It's not all rusted out, which I'm really glad because I didn't want to have to mess with some rusty stuff. But we've got the hydraulic system sort of.
If anybody was in
Partially,
there,
sort
if
of.
anybody was in there, there's the flex lines. Never do this. Never, never do this. The flex lines that go down to the caliper on the front. Kim was trying to get the calipers apart. She couldn't get the pistons to move, and she's pushing on it. She slaved some other master cylinder in there because the master cylinder is bad. So she's pumping brake fluid down there, and she's loosing the lines in different places. Well, we're getting brake fluid to the flex hoses, to the flex lines, but not to the caliper. She took the flex hose off, took a piece of 41,000 safety wire, which is pretty thick safety wire, and shoved it down through the flex hose, the black flex hose, and rotted it out like she's rodding out a radiator.
I figured there's a try.
And all this black goo came out, and she hooked it back up. Voila, we got brakes. So don't ever do that unless you're just trying to move a car around and you got to unlock the wheels. But it's kind of funny that actually
I
worked.
went on the British car parts site and ordered new rubber lines and everything. They're on their way, so we'll have, Mike Murphy says, "What's up, everyone? Got stuck installing a 50-gallon water heater late at work." Ooh.
Water heaters.
Well, I'm glad you made it. Honestly, you didn't do too bad. It's not that late. I hope you were successful. We were trying to do HVAC repairs and it didn't work out. So we are in the sweat box tonight trying to stay cool while we're in the hot lights.
Can you switch again? Because this is one Mexican spec sent in.
Sure.
We're
Let's
looking
take
at
a look
everybody
at it.
else's 57.
Is this a for sale one or is this just a picture that he liked?
I'm not sure. Mexican spec, you got to tell us what this is. It's a 68 LeSabre, I think. Yeah, it's 68 LeSabre. And don't know much about it. My mechanic just did that to the gas float in the tank of my 83 Spirit. Now it pumps up the gas.
Oh, great.
It cleared it out.
What do you do? Rot it out.
So what's the story on this Buick? This looks like it's in the U.S. That doesn't look like Mexico, but I'm not sure. Could be.
What about
Maybe it's just a car that he really likes.
What about it is a determining thing?
Oh, that hand won't even grip this.
It looks like an older American neighborhood.
I'm struggling with my left hand a bit.
I'm sorry.
I'm just telling everybody why I'm hurting just trying to pick up my drink. My drink is one of the old favorites, A&W.
So we do have the frame of the Spitfire back in the garage, and he's going to build an aluminum body. Do you want to tell us any more about your ideas of aluminum body, or you want to keep it a secret till we get there?
We're just going to roll with it when we get there. Mexican spec. This is a 68 LeSabre. I bought one of these in the four-door sedan flavor, and in this color. It was a present to myself for my 17th birthday. Wow. So yours is a four-door sedan, or was it a hardtop like this? I like the hardtops, but they're not very strong. I mean, but they look cool.
Okay, so this isn't the car. This is just a tribute.
Yes.
That makes sense. Okay.
But
so you had one of those when you were 17 years old. That looks like a heck of a fun driver. You can fit a lot of friends. Four-door motor.
68 Buicks had round marker light in the rear quarter panel.
Speaking of
Yep.
round marker lights, we found
I,
38. Oh,
you gotta wait. You gotta wait. Gotta wait till the people are in here.
but 38 Racing is
Oh,
here.
he's here. Oh, 38 Racing. Yeah, okay, so now we can say this. 38 Racing. You know, we lost those side marker lights that you lent to me. Look at this.
Ta-da!
Look at this. We quit looking for them, so they just turned up.
Well, the season's
Now they're
changed.
here. They're here on this desk, and they're not leaving here until I go and I start my CAD up and draw them up, and then I'll give them back to you. Either send them to you or take them to No Name National.
So they were in my Dart. And on Sunday, there was the spring car meetup and swap meet in downtown Clarksville, which is just a few miles from here. So I picked up John Hart, and we went and we took a walk around. We took the 66 Dart down there, and we walked around and enjoyed ourselves. The car ran fantastic. It's actually, I think it's, seat in the rings, and it's slowly running better and better, honestly. But I'm not real thrilled with the steering or brakes. I don't feel good about the steering and brakes yet. But the engine and transmission work fantastic. So we had a great time, but we had the Dart out, and here I was tidying up, and these were sitting in there because I pulled them out of his car after the accident and stuck them in the Dart so they wouldn't get lost.
Well, I stayed here. I've been having a tough time with my hand and my pain and all this. Didn't sleep much at all. So I fell asleep in the morning, and she was going to that car show, and I should have gotten out of bed and gone, but instead I got a couple hours sleep when my phone rang, my text, and this is what I see on the text. I'm thinking, what the heck is that? I thought it was something that broke in her car, and I'm looking. I go, oh, I know what those are. Those are raised lights. so we have them. Yeah.
Buddy Carafano suggests that the round lights should go into the Spitfire project now that you've found them. Maybe
Well,
some of the reproduction ones will.
These
That was
lights,
cool.
the reason I wanted them, I actually only wanted one, but I found out they're different. The front and the back are different. The amber one and the red one, other than just the color. So I want to draw them up. And then there's a guy that comes in here, Kitsy Fluff. He's a machinist. So I may just have him make some, and we'll do some, maybe do some nice reproduction, at least for me.
Ray says the Dart is the safe place for things to hide in. Yeah, right? That's what happened is I put them someplace safe where they wouldn't get lost. And
they got lost.
Well, they weren't lost. They were exactly where I put them, nice and safe. They just so happened to be impossible to find.
There's the kitty lack.
I didn't neglectfully just
No,
haphazardly
it's
leave them
good.
somewhere,
It's good.
though.
They were there. They
was
weren't in
upset.
some. They weren't in
I
some
felt bad.
box.
He was like, "They're lost." I'm like, "They're not lost. I just don't know where they are."
Yeah, we knew they were around here somewhere. We just didn't know where.
It's the same as trying to remember something. Stop thinking about it. Gearhead, it'll either work or it won't.
Yeah, it's always the last place, of course, because
When you find it, you stop looking.
Stop looking, yeah.
So it is the last place. How about a 1992 Dodge Viper? That's a nice car. I'll bring one up. Go ahead. You could talk about what you got.
So this is who was asking about the Cadillac. It's smaller than our Spitfire. Yeah, as a kid, I would have loved that. I had some kind of a car like that was green, but it wasn't a Cadillac. It was some other kind of pedal car. And I had it, and I don't know what happened to it. My parents probably gave it to somebody when I got too big for it. Oh, yeah, here
Pedal
you go.
cars are cool.
Kim's
It's a
kind
1960 Cadillac. That's pretty cool. There's the Viper with the V10. What's the advantage of having 10 instead of 8?
More.
More.
What is it? 8.2 liters, something like that?
Really?
I think they started with a small block, and I think
Those were all the rage when they came out. That's what everybody wanted, was a new V10 Viper.
And
I
they
think
they
they're pretty
sound funny
sweet.
because of the firing,
Firing.
because they
Yeah.
fire. I should know what it is. They fire at 90 degrees, and what do they fire at? 68 degrees and 90 degrees, something like that. But like the Ford V10 fires every 72 degrees, so it's even fire because it's 720 degrees for both revolutions. So there's 10 cylinders at 72 degrees. The Ford fire, so it's even fire. These fire like ta-da 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 like a Harley. So it sounds. Some people think it sounds funny. I haven't noticed it really sounding funny as long as it works.
Pretty wild, pretty wild. And on the Bronco 2 front, the motor is in the Bronco 2, and we've made slow but steady progress towards getting a manifold fabricated. We did do some aluminum brazing on some of the intake manifold part. That's going to be the most important part. Once I get the intake manifold fabricated, boom, all of a sudden there's going to be videos about how we got to where we are and what it will run. I'm sure of it there. So when that engine is wrapped up at the track, it sounds simply horrible. Oh, I can't remember ever hearing one, Andrew. Just not right, huh?
Oh, Joe Martin does pedal cars. I didn't know that. I haven't seen him in a long time because he was on TV, wasn't he? And I don't know. Maybe he's got a YouTube channel now. Okay, so this is one that
Whose car's that?
um
That's flashy. Wow.
where is it?
It's somebody's drag car.
Max Wedge, Dick Dashley says, Buff, I just sent you pics of my buddy's MW.
It's a
Which
Plymouth.
is yeah, it's a 63 Plymouth, but I don't know what MW is. So yeah, and then there's some others that he sent too.
Very nice.
Is this, look at the engine on that. Oh, Max Wedge. That's what it is. Max Wedge.
Yes.
And yeah, look at that. Can you imagine that 63 Plymouth? Yeah, Mexican spec, look at that. Open up your hood and see that. Man.
Wow. 38 Racing says the V10 runs smoother. The pulses are closer together. I work with the V10 Ford as an industrial power unit.
Where is this? Where is this? Oh, 38. Is that what you said? Oh, the
Yes.
pulses are close together. I work with the V10 Ford. Yeah, the V10 Ford fires every 72 degrees. And this thing is, I got to do my addition so I get it right. Oh, Mexican spec size. I'm happy with my 361. Yeah, that's a big block. That'd be nice. Okay, let's see. Where's my talk while I do my figuring here. Let's see here.
Mexican Spec is happy with his 361 big block. That does sound like something that would make a person happy. Boy, there's so many things I want to do and not nearly enough time or energy. I find myself at the end of my energy level at the end of the day, and I'm like sitting there and I'm surrounded in tools and dirt and covered in dirt and the projects and I'm like sitting on a chair like staring at the wall like, oh my Allah, I am so spent. I got nothing more to give. But I desperately want to, like, I don't want to be done because I want to keep working on my project. The Bronco is probably going to take a back seat for a while just because it's outside and the bugs are ferocious around here. Terrible.
Yeah,
Your
okay.
meth gives you energy. It's a lie. It does not.
Okay, so yeah, I had to do this math to make sure I got it right. The Dodge V10 fires at 90 degrees, and 54. So it's 90 degrees, 54 degrees, 90 degrees, 54 degrees instead of 72, 72, 72. That's why it sounds a little bit strange. But it still works out to the same 720 degrees total. That's why people think they sound funny. But my 360 runs on 7 cylinders, just like the day I bought her. Well, do something about it. What's wrong with it? Yeah, what's wrong with the 8th cylinder? That's messed up.
Don't tell people to do meth, Mexican spec. It's not good.
Should I tell everybody what my son told his kids when they became teenagers? I thought it was pretty good. Good parenting. You want me to tell him? Should I tell him? Kim?
Yes.
Yes, I should tell him? You're not paying any attention to me. You're just saying yes.
I'm typing. Go ahead and say it.
Okay, what my son told his kids, he has a boy and a girl, when they got to be teens, he says, I got 3 rules. And he goes, the rules are, don't burn the house down.
Oh, your son.
No hardcore drugs. That's why I saw the meth here, reminded me. No hardcore drugs and no pregnancies. He goes, and you all know what all the other rules are, and if you break them and you get some kind of problem, he goes, we can handle those. But those 3 rules, we can't handle those. And I got covered up by an ad.
Rules to live by.
I like this rules.
Is it the OM617 engine, Dougster? Is that the one? Is that 5 cylinders or is that one 4? Turbo disco. Diesel. Because this 3W126, which one is it? In stock on eBay.
What's
You can get
beeswax
one
spray?
for
Oh,
only
beeswax spray.
$3,500.
That must be see, ad Viva Aerobus, beeswax spray. Yes, Kim. K Jewelers ad. Okay, are you going to award
Why,
points?
yes. I will. So, if you did not know, we have a points system here on Buckdale Campo live stream where if you get advertisements, we award you points if you tell them about us. Like Buddy Carafano said, K Jewelers. So every gift begins with K. That's great. K Jewelers has found our stream to be of enough value, found our viewers to be of great enough value that they want to advertise and support us, and we value that. So if you call it out, you get 2 points, whether I see it and read it or not, because other people see that we're getting advertisements. And it's sometimes it's interesting just to see what kind of advertisers are out there and what's going on with that stuff. So we appreciate you being patient. You probably have to click a next or watch an unskippable ad, and we don't like that. But you know, it pays the bills. It keeps the lights on here on the channel. Right now we're streaming at like 4,000 kilobits per second. Somebody's got to pay for all that.
53.
It moves around. But somebody's got to pay for all those kilobits. And if it wasn't for advertisers, you know, we wouldn't be able to come to you. So we appreciate that people are willing to advertise, even though we don't like to have to take a break to watch advertisements. So that's how it works. I don't have a database. I don't got a spreadsheet. I award the points. You keep track of them. It's an on your honor system. So please keep track of your points. Save them up. When we have giveaways and stuff like that, the people who have points are going to get first crack at them.
Mexican Spec says, what bills does it pay? I'll tell you what most of it pays is YouTube has this great platform that we use, and they have to pay for all that somehow, and they go out and they sell advertising. And we're lucky enough that some of the advertisers are here. So we make a little bit, and eventually, hopefully, we'll make a little bit more.
How many videos did you say we have? Like over 600?
I think we have 625 or 645, something like that. Yeah, we've got...
YouTube somewhere has a server farm, stores all that stuff for your instance that you don't have to ask, hey, Buff Del Campo, can you email us that video you did about carburetor on a
Yeah, there's some expense
Bronco?
there. And they sell a lot of ads for that.
I mean, yeah, they have to do that stuff.
And
We
then-
don't do that stuff.
And then what we make, which we make some, and when
we get a tiny, tiny fraction
and
of
when
it,
we
but
get-
it's very tiny.
and when we get some super chats, we put that into things like we bought not a new computer, we bought a used computer from a place that refurbishes computers because we had a piece of crap up in the shop. But we bought that, and now we've got a pretty good stream from the shop, and that's because y'all
Well, that was super
donated
chats.
some money. That was super
But-
chats that paid for that.
But they also process the super chat stuff, so we don't have to do any of that either. So it can be nice. How many sticks of gum? I don't know. Gum is expensive right now, but like
That didn't answer the question, Buff.
I know.
I don't know.
The actual cash money.
Oh, how many sticks of? Oh, what we did? No, I mean we get more than gum. I mean,
It might be $30 a month if you take away super chats.
yeah, with the super chats, it's $100 a month.
Most
it's-
of it is super chats.
But I'm trying to build a channel to the point where maybe it'll
Yeah,
come
yeah,
up a
yeah,
little
yeah,
more.
yeah.
And
And we get to do this. Like, this is something we get to do. If it wasn't for YouTube, we would not get to talk to all these people. Wouldn't get to know people. We learn a lot. Like,
So-
when we say something dumb, people correct us. And
Oh,
that's
yeah.
smart.
That's something I've learned doing videos that I post. I make a mistake somewhere, man, I'm told. So anyway, this is one that Buddy Carfano sent up because it's a V10 Dodge pickup
Oh, yeah.
or Ram pickup, I guess. But then I have another one that I want to show. Mexican Spec's like, show it, show it, show it. Yeah, I've got it here, Mexican Spec. It's this one, which is you're gonna
Mexican
have to
Spec-
adjust.
It's
something,
not
Kim.
enough money to make it worth it. Like,
Oh, we
by
can't.
the
We're not
time
in
and
it.
energy that we put into it, we don't. It's not nearly enough. But the real revenue, is the friends we made along the way, right? People can see that we're real and we're about what we're doing, and that helps us build relationships. And we make friends, and we have opportunities to do things that we probably would never get. Like him meeting Tony, like all the things that have come from that, and without YouTube, it would never have come to be. Who knows where any of us would be without this? So we like it.
Easy.
I love this color scheme because
So-
it's so 70s.
Mexican Spec said this is just like one he had. I didn't know you had the van. I thought you had the wagons. Man,
That's a cool Pinto.
I had every wagon I had. I converted to a van because I had a bunch of those panels. I wish I'd taken the last set of panels and pulled a mold off of them so I could make them out of fiberglass because I'm out of panels now. But I guess I could do it if I ever have another Pinto. Oh, he says my Pinto was just like this one. I wish I had it now. Yeah, my last one. I wish I had it, because it was all black. It was a nice car, and it was a panel.
We're gonna rile up a picture of the Peanut Gallery.
What?
38 Racing told me to put up a picture to rile up the Peanut Gallery. Microsoft would
What
love
did
your
you say?
perspective. Not
If you
right now,
want.
Microsoft. Thank you.
Oh, a 59 Nomad. What's wrong with a 59 Nomad?
Oh, there. See, look, you said it wrong.
Mexican Spec says it's not a van, it's a cruiser wagon. I don't know. I always called it a van, but I guess you'd call it a cruiser. I don't know, whatever. Cruiser wagon. Chevy called the Vega a van. It was not either. Well, I like that little Chevy one, but there's so few of those. The Pinto, at least they made a pretty good production run, you know. My buddy's mom had the green wagon with the woody siding. I had one with a woody siding, and I pulled it all off and had to fix all the holes. And then that one, that might have been the last one I had that got painted black. Buff, did you build a yellow 74 wagon with oblong windows? 74 wagon. Did you build a yellow? I'm not sure what that is. Talking about Pintos, I think I had, oh man, the first one I had was a Bobcat. I think it was a 75 or 76 Bobcat, and then I had a couple of 75 Pintos and probably a 76. I don't know. They were all about mid-range Pintos. I never had one of the late model ones with the big rectangular front end like this. Tim says, time for another nap. Great steak. Mexican Express says, taking the wood off one is too much work. Yeah, that's what I said after I got taken off. I said, man, it looked better before I took it out of the crate. But it was a lot of work. And then heat gunning without too much heat gun and peel all that sticker off that was the wood. And then fixing all the holes. But it came out good. Mexican Express says, a 64 Pinto wagon with oblong windows. With oblong windows. I just took the windows out of the back. You just take the back out, and then you put the panels in, and all of mine had the little round porthole, and then I always had the inner piece that has carpet on it, and I just installed it all because I get it from other people. But you say oblong windows, you mean the original station wagon windows? Yeah, you just take the glass out. Same structure underneath. So let's get Kim, why don't you put that up so that we get to the 59 Nomad.
He says he had a 1974 that he bought in Simi Valley, and he was wondering if maybe you built it.
Oh.
That's why he was telling you the color and what it was.
I don't think I ever had a 74. I think mine were 75s and 76s. I was trying to think one time, I thought maybe one of mine was a 77, but I think they were all 75s and 76s. The one I don't know which it was the Bobcat. The Bobcat had a crunch grill when I got it, and I took that expanded metal, just painted it flat black and made a grill for it. So the Bobcat just looked like it had an open mouth on the front, but it had a grill in there. It's expanded metal with the little diamond shape. But you couldn't see that because I'd painted it black. Let's see here. I've got. Okay, who's saying they sent? Buddy Carfano just sent it. Oh, here we go. Buddy Carfano. Oh yeah, here we go. Can we show that too? Yeah, I know. We're switching back and forth. There's the hiccups. There's the Vega Panel Express or whatever they called it. That's a nice looking car. I don't really like the that little chin spoil. No, I got the hiccups. I don't want the hiccups right now. Easy on the back. I don't really like that chin spoiler a lot, but I like that car. Okay, you want to go back to 59 so we can get back to
Nomad.
Nomad. So, yeah. Oh, not the round ones Ford used, but mine had oblong windows. It was different. No, never saw it. I always used the round windows, and I wanted to find one. See, they have like a little, it's steel, it's sheet metal, and it's got a little indent press thing like a flange where the round window goes in. But Ford did make some without the windows, and I always wanted one of those. So if I ever do another one, I'll probably do it myself, unless I happen to find a set of panels. And I'll just leave the windows off of it. '59 Delivery is a great wagon. I got to get back to my emails here, Kim. Who the heck is that? Somebody else. Somebody after me here. Hang on, I want to. Kim, you're going to have to talk. Oh, I see somebody's yapping at me here. I don't know what's going on.
Yapping at you?
Okay, I'm going to just put this away. That can wait.
Ray says there are folks who can't get past that these Nomads had 4 doors after 1957.
They did.
I mean, it's a heck of a big wagon. A two-door is a little more sporty.
Yeah, in 58. Was there a two-door wagon in 58? I don't remember.
Not according to 38 Racing.
I expect to scare him, say boo.
Dean Stevenson is here. Welcome to the stream. He says, I'm in a truck. Maybe a truck?
Twuck.
Listening on headphones, maybe? Well, welcome to the stream, Dean.
And I'm downloading some pictures from people, so Kim, you're going to have to watch the chat while I'm doing this.
Mexican Spec says, people that weren't around at that time, so they don't matter. That's not true. They still matter some ways. The Chevelle wagon also used the Nomad name. That's
It
cool.
did. You know, 38 Racing, I remember those. See, I knew there was a two-door in 58. It was the Yeoman. And I remember seeing those around. And there weren't a lot of them, but I remember seeing them around. But tell me about your earliest childhood memory. Earliest childhood memory?
He has some early memories.
You know, I'll tell you what I remember well was the day my father bought a brand new 56 Ford, and I was probably 3 months away from being 3 years old, so I was 2 years and 9 months, something like that. And I don't remember getting there. I don't remember how we got to the dealer, but I remember we bought that car and brought it home. And I remember I remember him open up the hood and he picked me up, and there was this thing in there that was big around like this. Of course, I was a little kid. It was the air cleaner, but it looked enormous to me then. I was like, "What's that?" And my father said, "That's the air cleaner." You know, what's that? That's a battery. What's that? And I memorized where everything was. So, yeah, that was probably the earliest memory. And then we drove that car home, and that was our car for a long time. It was that 56 Ford. And I remember talking to my father about it, and he's like, "Oh, yeah." And I told him a couple of things. He goes, "Oh, you do remember that, you know." So, you know, I confirmed that I actually did remember it. Okay, let's see here. Who is this? Which one is this? Oh, I got to look back to see who sent this stuff.
Andrew said his grandmother got killed in a 58 Yeoman when it rolled.
Oh,
so sorry
no.
that he lost her grandmother in a car accident. That is, that's a really unfortunate thing. I'm going to look up the 58 Yeoman to see what it looks
Sam
like.
Friends. Okay.
Oh, excuse me. I don't know why I just yawned. That's terrible.
Okay, can you swap to my picture?
But I just brought up my own.
Oh, okay, you brought up your own picture. Okay, yeah, do yours first. Yeah, there's 58 Yeoman. That green and white one is. I guess the black and white one is too. It kind of looks like the windows kind of look like a four-door, but it was a two-door.
See, this one looks like it's a four-door.
That is a four-door. But yeah, that's definitely a two-door.
Pretty cool, pretty cool.
It's like four two-door wagons.
Black and white ones. Cool.
Up through 58, they look like a two-door wagon. In 59, they look like a four-door with two doors. And I had a 59 two-door wagon, and it just didn't look as good as a 57 and 58. I wish it did. Luis says, should I stay or should I go? Here? Stay here.
Hang out yet.
And Hippie Long's here. Good evening.
There's a railroad toad.
That's a 58 Packard Hawk. The 1 year for a Packard Hawk, which the Packard people didn't like them, and the Studebaker people, I think, called them Packard Bakers. But I really liked it. As far as I'm concerned, it's one of the best Studebakers ever made. But it was a...
Looks like a catfish.
Everybody says that. It looks like a fish mouth. But it was a Studebaker Hawk that they converted into a Packard. It had a different dash in it that looked kind of like a Packard. It's pretty cool looking. Mexican Specs, I'm going to be publishing a clean two-door 58 Biscayne in a couple of days. Oh, that's cool. Oh, Maxwell Dashley says, I want a 63 Plymouth wagon. Man, '63 Plymouth's like one of my favorites. Oh, Buff, one of those was for sale here, but it didn't have any emblems. I had to go to Google to see what it was. Hey, they didn't even make 1,000 of those. Should have snagged that thing up. I don't know. I guess it depends on how much they want for it. But then Dick Dastardly, I think, sent this in. Ooh, look at that. And then I'm going to try to. He sent other ones in too. This one.
Boy, does that look like a race car.
And that one he says is getting a 440 in it.
Ho, ho, ho.
What year is that Dart? I just read it. I don't remember. What year is that Dart?
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Oh, where is it? 69. It's 69, my favorite year Dart.
Now they're singing songs in the
Yeah, I
chat.
see they're singing songs. Andrew Button, the best car I've ever driven was a 62 Plymouth Sport Fury with 361 automotive perfection. Well, that's what Mexican Spec has is a 63, which is they're both B bodies, a 361. So I kind of like the looks of the 63 better than the 62, but when you sit in them, they feel the same. You sit kind of low in them, and I don't know, they just have a feel that's different than all the other B bodies. Starting, I think, at 64, they all felt a little bit different. Mexican Spec says there is a decent 62 Plymouth Savoy here, two-door sedan. It needs work, but it could be a big dollar car. I think you have that listed, don't you? I think I've looked at that before, and it's a little rough, but it's all there. I think I've seen that car. Carvana sending more. It just popped up. Oh, one of these guys. One of these guys. Buddy Carvana sent that in. 70 Chrysler 300 Hearst convertible. I like everything except the Hearst logo on the side. Yeah, that's a big car, isn't it? That is an enormous car, but it's pretty nice.
It's not my favorite.
No, they're not my favorite, but if it were not a convertible, I'd drive that on long trips.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a good road car, but, I don't know. It's just not...
Oh, geez. Buddy Carfano says 86 Buick GN. I don't remember what...
Grand National.
Yeah, but that wasn't a Grand National. I don't know. He says it is. I had an 86 Buick. Only mine was red. I had one of those. That was one of my favorite cars.
I'll be right back.
I like that thing.
Stick around, guys. I'm not going anywhere.
Huge. And yeah, the logo doesn't fit, really. Is there a year theme tonight? No, all we decided to do, Buddy Carfano came up with the idea because we couldn't come up with a year. And he said, just whatever your favorite car is, So, I don't know. He started sending in pictures of cars people like. That's all. Dr. Go. Oh, the big C-body Hearst 300 with wing in the trunk. Oh, did that thing have a wing in the trunk? $300 Hearst hardtop is in my dream garage next to my Jensen Interceptor. Jensen Interceptor I never drove one. I worked on them several times, but 440 in them. Not a very big car. But I don't know how they handle or anything. I really don't know much about them other than I know what they are and worked on them. Louise says, please do the adults chasing Donnie Thornberry from Rugrats. Go wild, please. Okay, when Kim gets back, we'll put that request in because she's got the computer where she can look all this stuff up. Dr. Go Jensen with the Mopar 440. Yep. The wing is built into the trunk. Oh, okay. Well, these Buicks, I had one of these, and when I was working over on the west side of Ohio, I lived in northeast Ohio, and I was working over there on the west side quite a bit. I had one of these that was kind of a maroon color. I drove that thing back and forth a lot. And it was like the last of the big two doors. But it was a front driver. But I liked the car. It's a nice, comfortable car for distances like that. Kind of wish I still had it. The engine ended up taking a crap. You know, when you buy old cars like that, you really don't know how they've been maintained. And mine worked for a while, but I think somebody had let the oil change probably go too long because that engine started having noises and problems and had over 100,000 on it. It wasn't going to go much longer. And then seized up one day. Actually, need a big parking space for that's right. Good car to intimidate the little cars. Those big cars. Let's see if I don't know if I can go back on that one. Like that big Chrysler, you know. What a nice big car to cruise down the highway in. Only 118 had the Grand National package. Okay, yeah, mine wasn't. Mine was just it was just a big two-door car. It was pretty nice. Yeah, and the Grand National probably had a console and everything, probably buckets. Mine was just a big bench seat. Mine was just a big family car. I kind of liked it. Oh, here we go. Buddy Carafano sent in the picture of the back of that thing, or one like it. Yeah, I'd forgotten about that wing. Yeah, that's one without the Hearst emblem, and it's a hardtop, which I kind of like. Dougster, all the great British, what is that, drummers maybe from the 60s, 70s had one thing in common. They all owned at least one Jensen Interceptor. Max was, he said, you can fit a lot of girls in that Imperial. Weight of a Votec.
For a lot of guys.
And then he took it away. He deleted it. He retracted the message after I read it.
Wow.
I'm not sure what that wing would do for you, though. Yeah, you know what it does? It looks like a wing, sort of.
Looks like the car has a wing.
Max Wedge, sequential taillights on my 69 Imperial had them. Really? I didn't know Chrysler ever did that back then. I thought Ford was the only one that, Ford and Mercury were the only ones that did it. Cool stuff. Grand National, the Sabre was turbocharged. Oh, wow. Yeah, see, mine had the 3.3. The turbocharged one was probably a 3.8, which is, they look the same on the outside, but they're not.
Adults chasing Donnie Thornberry.
Oh, yeah. I said maybe you.
Louise really is excited
about that. So
we're
gonna try to see what you can find here.
Okay.
Now the new Charger has that on the front. Yeah, it's got a wing like that on the front. Is that weird or what? Are they going to be able to do that with the engine up there? I don't know. She's pulling it up, but we got a enter button. We got a Brand Nation Grand National in May of 1986. Wish it was still around. Probably brand new. What is this? Oh, you got to play it. It's a video.
Shh. Be patient. Let's see if we can play.
We're going to play somebody else's video on here, and then we're going to get a copyright strike for that. Why are you doing this?
Okay, that was funny. All right, that's all we could do.
Yeah, we're not going to try to get a copyright strike for that. Hey, here's a 63 Plymouth wagon.
If you like Rugrats movie, Louise suggests if you search the adults chasing Donnie Thornberry from Rugrats Go Wild, you
Oh,
can
he says,
find it and watch it.
no, the prototype of the Hemi-powered Charger has a very different front end. Oh, I haven't seen that. Yeah, I'd like to see that. I should look that up.
I'll look it up.
We got it because Tony raved about it so much in the magazines. He was right, too. Smokey and the
What year
Bandit
was
Part
it?
3 anyway.
Hemi Power. Is this for the new Hemi powered Charger?
Yeah, the new Charger that they're...
Is that what we're talking about?
The electric one that they're going to now put a Hemi in it again. Yeah, and Dick Dashley says he likes the black 63 wagon. Yeah, 63 Plymouth, to me, that front end with those turn signals out on the fender tips just looks so good. Oh. So. My head's in the way. I don't know. See, the electric one has that slip-through wing thing on the front. Oh, there it is. One said Hemi.
Charger Daytona concept? Which one is it?
Well, that's a artist conception. And that's like no. I think you need to look further.
I don't know what I'm looking for. How do I know when I...
Okay.
How will I know when I found it?
2025 or 2026 Charger, Hemi powered. What's that one? Auto Spies right there. Oh, we got ads anyway.
Auto Spy? Well, let's keep looking. This one.
Yeah,
That's
see what that... No, it's not. Is it?
It's different. Looks like it's about the same.
See, Mexican Spec said, my left turn signal got thrown off the Savoy in the accident. Oh, that's not good. Think about that 1982 Pontiac Bonneville. Luis says that. You see that? They've got, they don't have that flow-through wing thing on the front. I didn't know how they do that with an engine in there. With a Hemi in it, that might be a pretty nice car. But again, it's going to be an electronic car. It's going to be all the modules and all. Yeah. Might still be fun
Mexican
to
Spec
drive.
got a GoDaddy ad. Mike Murphy got a Domino's ad. Garrett says, I looked up Dodge electric charger and it came up.
Well, I think that's it right there, the one that you have shown there. Because the electric one has that weird looking wing thing in the front. And this one doesn't. Oh, there's one. See that Reddit one, but I think that's probably some artist's conception. I don't know. Right now, we don't know what it is till it shows up. My friend's dad was a GM executive and he bought a McLaren GNX new and left it unprepped, just like from the factory, and it had 20 miles on it. Dougster says that.
Wow.
Okay, you give points for those ads?
I did get points for
Okay,
ads.
I heard you read it off. I just didn't know if you gave points. Andrew Button, I was never enamored with the original Chargers. Too big. Always preferred the E-bodies. That's still where your interest lies. The first generation Charger, 66 and 67, I was 12 years old. Man, I thought that was just like the coolest thing I ever seen. Until the 68 came out, and the 68 was, man, to me, that was it. And that's kind of why I used it on the thumbnail tonight, was a 68, because I remember how much I liked those. And of course, the The e-bodies, I like those too. And for a while, I liked the Challenger better, and then for a while, I liked the Barracuda better. Luis says, so how about the 83 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am?
Let's take a look at that.
You're going to look at that, okay?
I will look for that. Man, we're moving through all the different eras and types of cars. I do like a nice Trans
So
Am.
what does GOAT mean? 60...
Greatest of all time.
Oh, yeah, they're big old fastbacks. I like the taillight across the back.
Is that the Knight Rider car? Sure looks like the Knight Rider. Woo, 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 woo.
I do like third gen Firebirds a lot, but
I see them around. People have them on
they're
Marketplace.
still around. But yeah, they're getting old. It's like my car; it's getting old. You know, good luck finding one that's not.
They're
messed
not
up.
like super high priced cars, though. They don't bring the big money, and well, not the ones I see. I guess if it's all fixed up.
Garrett says 68 through 70 are my favorite Chargers. Yeah, me too, especially the 68. I don't know why I'm so. It's the front end, it's the nose that I like better on the 68. All the rest of it, they're all pretty good. I don't like that divider in the middle. I think you got this nice big opening like a jet in the front, and they put a divider in the middle of it. I didn't like it, but so 68 was my favorite. And of course, it had these. They're stuck in here. It had these round side marker lights, which I really liked. Andrew Button, we divested in B bodies decades ago, but I still do E body stuff. I see. You know what the E body is?
That's like the Cuda, isn't it?
Yeah, Cudas and Challengers, the original ones. So Luis, now we know a lot. He's going to the bathroom in 5 minutes. I'll be back.
Okay. Dougster says my ex-girlfriend had a 90 Camaro with the Crossfire 2.8 and a 5-speed, and that car was actually fun. I mean, it's not going to win any drag races, but it would be a fun car. You know, the 2.8 engine's light and puts out a modest amount of power. With a 5-speed, you'd be able to whip around in that. You know, especially for like a high school kid, that'd be a blast. A blast.
Mexican Spec says, so why didn't the brake lights ever work on the General Lee? I didn't know they didn't. I never noticed that. Maybe they never put the brakes on. Those guys are pretty wild, you know. They mostly just jumped over stuff instead of slowing down.
Yeah, because you don't hit the brakes when you're in the General Lee.
Let's see here. Dr. Go, there are some many cool cars to enjoy, like E-bodies and A-bodies, also many from the other brands. But unfortunately for me, I only fit in the big cars due to my size. B and J and C bodies for me.
I noticed that my Dart is small for me. Like I don't.
Those
feel
were
like
small
I have a lot of
cars.
Headroom.
Those were small cars. They were
See, but
considered as a compact, and they
doesn't
are.
seem it feels small in this direction, but in this direction it feels a little small.
Well, and you're tall.
I am pretty tall. The other thing is you know, from the bottom of my butt to the top of my head, I'm a lot taller than I am like overall. Like I got a lot of
I think
upper
you're
body
tall.
height.
You got tall legs too. I don't know, maybe not, because we're in the. When I get in the Jeep and you've been in it, well, you're not doing it anymore, but you used to slide the seat forward. Although I noticed you haven't been doing that, so I don't know why.
You got taller.
I got taller? I don't think so.
Yes.
Andrew Button, I love C-bodies, but they are almost all gone, especially the 440 cars.
Mean Street Mopar came in. Welcome to the stream.
Oh, I missed that.
Dr. Go, did I say hello? Welcome in. What's your favorite A-body?
My favorite A-body? Oh, that's easy. Well,
Andrew.
3 years. 67, 68, 69, Barracuda. Man, the fastback.
I forgot that the Barracuda's an A-body.
The long fastback. Yeah, the first 3 years were. Or, no. the first and second generation were. So it's second generation Barracudas are my favorite A body.
The 72 Dart Swinger. I had one like right after I graduated from high school, and I got to tell you, I have very fond memories of that car, and I think that was just probably my favorite. I want to love my 66, and I do in some ways, but I just can't stop loving the memories I have of that 72 Dart Swinger.
I'm working on emails here.
Dougster says I taught my ex how to power shift that thing. That's cool.
Who said that?
Dougster.
Oh, Dougster.
He was talking about that 2.8 5-speed car. .38 Racing, random picks are awesome. We are not very direct. Like,
I am downloading.
we are like very all over the place tonight. We don't have a year. We're doing favorites. People talk about their favorite of anything, and that's a lot. That's kind of just everything all over the place. So absolutely, we always appreciate people's projects and people's personal real photos.
These are 38s random. Okay, but you're gonna have to
compared to just cruising the Google.
Look at that. I gotta see that radiator.
Is that a car or is that a tractor?
I don't know what that is. Look at the tires that aren't tires or wheels.
Tank.
It's not good enough that I can see. I think it's a diamond cell.
Is it?
But
or
maybe it's a screen. I don't know. That's a pretty cool thing.
It's
just 38 pictures.
I think he's sent us some of these pictures in the past.
Oh, look at that.
What is that?
It's a Cadillac, but I always remember that grill. I like that grill with the lights that were between the headlights. I always thought that looked good, but that car is like just sitting there and quit driving it. Oh yeah, didn't he send this before? Maybe he did.
Hello, Mrs. Dr. Go. Welcome. There's a nice car. That's like from the late 40s, isn't it?
Where's Mrs. Go?
Dr. Go said that she's watching.
Ah.
What year is that?
What, that old DeSoto or whatever it is?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. 40 something.
I like the body, but I don't know that I would like the way that they drive.
That's a Kaiser. Early Kaiser.
Cool.
Didn't we look at that? And I'm going, man, I wouldn't mind having that. But it wasn't on a trailer yet.
No, it was a different.
Oh, what's this?
Kaiser.
What's this mess?
That looks like something went bad. Something bad happened to that.
That looks heavy. That's a big car. What is that, an Imperial?
Ray says the first pick is a 1916 Emerson tractor, and the Dodge is a 47.
That is an Imperial. That's a big, heavy car right there.
Yeah. Mike Murphy says that looks like my Broncos diff. Maybe.
Oh, there you go, Kim. Something you'd like.
Yeah. How bad is it, though? It's the RT, at least it's got the RT decals on it. Ray, are these all cars you have now, or are they just old pictures and stuff? 1958 Imperial LeBaron. Mexican Spec says he had a 1958 with a 1957 front end.
There you go.
Is that a Corvair?
That's a Corvair wagon, a Lakewood wagon. Yeah, I like those.
If you guys didn't see it last night, Dougster did a live for several hours. It was very entertaining. You should check out the Dougster Wolverine Garage channel and keep your eyes open for Monday night live streams from the Dougster because it's a lot of fun.
Man, this is sad. I guess if you like Chargers better than Mustang, Tooth.
Where is that? They're just stacking them up there. See, he's up north. Those cars could be
In Nebraska.
rotten. Like this dart up here on the pile in the center here.
Is that rust?
Look at the bottom of the bumper.
Is that rust on the bumper or is it a reflection?
Oh no, that's rust right through.
Oh, it is.
I'll bet you the bottom of that car is non-existent. And non-existent like Bondo, like that.
Oh, that thing you're
like
working
that Spitfire we've been working on, just Bondo. And there's good parts, but like, eh. Olive said the Imperial will be preserved as a fossil impression if the sediment keeps coming into that garage. Maybe, yeah. 38 Racing says this was at the scrapyard I hauled to. I see.
You know, maybe you or maybe Mexican Spec can put up Dougster's, a link to Dougster's channel so that people can go there on Mondays.
Just in case anybody didn't know that Dougster's doing that.
I didn't know it. I didn't know it till last. I didn't know it till last night, and I guess he's been doing them.
Yeah, and Dr. Art wasn't on. I don't know. He must have been doing something else. So Dougster was already started up. Kicks butt. Did you start at 8? I thought you started at 7, Dougster.
Oh, I missed a lot of it.
Or maybe he's in a different time zone.
What's this? Mike Murphy says, I like the video where Kim said, well, you can tell when I hit the Bondo with the saw.
Yeah, because it's instead of throwing sparks, it just went. It just turned it like blowing dust out of it.
And Luis is back from the bathroom. Dick Dashley
Mike
says,
watched my video. Thank you, Mike.
my dog is smashing around in the camper right now, trying to catch a moth.
Uh-oh. There's a link to Dougster's channel. And
the guy I used to work for, I was at his house. Supposed to meet him. I had a key to the house. So I'm in there. He had a big living room. In the middle of the living room, he had a couch that kind of divided into 2 rooms. And he had a little, what are those things called? Boston Terriers. And there was a bat in the house. Somehow a bat got in the house, and the bat was whop, 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 going from one end of the living room to the other one. And that dog ran across there under that bat, up on the couch, up on the back of the couch, grabbed the bat out of the air and onto the ground, and went across the living room and curled up on a chair, sat there with that bat in its mouth. And my friend came home. So your dog's over there with a bat and won't let me near her. So he starts walking toward this dog, and the dog's like, holding onto the bat. And I said, yep, that's her bat. You're not going to get that from her. He managed to get it from her, but that was her bat.
I mean, it caught the bat fair and square.
Oh, right in the air. Just timed it perfectly.
Mike Murphy says he has a buddy with a 58 Chevy Del Rey. Are any of these pictures of his Del Rey? I like the grill on that 58. That's pretty
58
nice.
was a 1-year body. You know what the 57s look like? Tri-5s, like,
yeah.
What's their names do all the time?
DD Speed Shop.
DD Speed Shop. And then there was this, and then there was a 59. So 57, 58, 59. In 3 years, they had 3 completely different cars. It was just amazing what they used to do with body styles back then.
Bats aren't COVID. Bats are, what's that? Flesh-eating disease. They're awful.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sick bat will give you something terrible. And armadillos will give you the plague or something like that.
Yeah, I don't mess with those. Let's see.
I was out in the pool trying to get the skid loader the other night.
You make it sound like we actually have a thing with water in it.
It's a round area that
it's a half a deck that used to be around a pool.
So I was in the pool area getting the skid loader, and it was getting pretty dark, and I hear this loud banging, and I'm like, what is that? Is there a person there? Hello, who is there? And there wouldn't be anybody out back behind the pool, so it was scary, right? It's an armadillo. He's making the big old racket trying to scare me off from his house. I don't know where he must live over in the corner under the deck.
So that's where the armadillo lives. I didn't know we had any armadillos this far north.
It was an
but I guess we
armadillo.
do.
He lives here somewhere, or he was out scavenging.
In speaking of our Doug's Drive, I haven't got any notifications for your lives. I usually see them like hanging out in your lives.
Rabies? Leprosy. That's the one.
Leprosy.
Blue
Yeah,
grit.
that's what
You get 2 points for knowing what I was thinking.
Yep. Oh, Blue Grit's here. Hey, how you doing? What did he say the other night? There's something he said that I don't remember what it was. Don't remember what it
Huntavirus.
was.
I think that's don't the mice give you that when they poop all in your car?
Well, a bat is a rodent, just that it flies. Bats are a weird animal. Andrew Button, I learned to drive in a 58 Impala with manual steering and a 283 Power Glide. Man, those things were all over the place too. I remember those. A friend of mine, his mother had a 58 Impala, the two-door Impala. And it's set kind of low in the back because it was worn out as it gets, and it had a 283. I don't remember what steering it had. But she was a little woman. She was a little tiny woman. You'd see her there. I don't know if she was looking through the steering wheel or over it, but you could see her top of her head when she drive by. It was a white 58 Impala. Armadillos make a lot of noise shuffling around at night, really. But usually not banging. That pool's not too far from the house. We might be able to hear that at night.
I don't know, but it was a lot more noise than like a raccoon will be real quiet. A lot of animal or deer, they'll be like. Shh.
Oh, deer.
This thing was
Quiet.
like banging around, like it was really trying to let me know that it was there, trying to scare me off.
I feel like I'm going to start sneezing.
Shoot. Say again. Oh,
I'm sorry. I knew that was coming. 57 Chevys drove better. That 58 frame and coilovers were crap on the road.
Oh.
They look low and wide, but then you say that, and 38 Racing's in here, and his 59 has the frame and the coilover. Or they're not coilovers, they're coil springs. Gearhead says, correction, bats are histoplasmosis. What's that?
I don't know, but I'll bet it's bad. Like the dog, like, drop it! Let that bat go! Get it out of here! Oh, bats in your belfry. I remember when we used to have bats that, if there was a good place for them to tuck up in your roof, they would live up in the attics. Andrew Button says the X-frame were garbage, 59 wider and lower. Huh. See, I don't know.
Well, the
these
59,
cars.
the wheels were way inboard on the 59. I don't know if they were any wider. The car was wider. I don't know. Maybe 38 can fill us in on that. Dean Stevenson says, well, you're here. How you doing? Oh, you're swapping over to that.
Look, there's Fox Body, too.
Yeah, I saw that. What's his Dean Stevenson? Aluminum bars are Illuminati. Dean Stevenson bats. What are you talking about? Check. Dr. Go. Anyone ever check out the Equus Bass car that looks to be a crossover Mustang? I have. Okay, look that up. EQUUS. Yeah, whatever happened to that project? Did they actually build those or what happened? Oh, yeah, there it is. That's a good looking car. Look at that red one, man. Yeah, there it is.
It looks like a Mustang.
It does sort of, but it's a completely different thing.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. It kind of looks like a
6.2 liter supercharged.
It looks like a 60s supercar, but it's their own thing, I think.
Pretty neat.
Yeah, when those things, I don't know what happened to that project. I remember when those things, I first saw them, I thought, oh, I like that, but they were really expensive. Yeah, look at the dash. I don't know if I like the dash very much. But I like the nose on it. I think it looks good.
Got a screen.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, down there.
A lot of cars got a screen. The
Ender
back of
button.
the
59
dash.
cars set lower. Pontiacs had, yeah, Pontiacs. So, yeah, the suspension, they made the wheels way out on the 59 Pontiacs, but the Chevy, they were still kind of inboard. Made for better driving car. 58 GMs regarded as total failure.
It's got the roof line of a Javelin. I don't know.
I don't know if that's the case. I think it has a roof line more like the Mustang.
I mean, it's a unique car.
Yeah.
Especially for being that modern.
38 says, I can't say about the widths of the 58 to 59. I do know the rear suspension is a bit different. Oh, is it? Okay. Ender Bud says, I hate screens. The only screen I like is I like my little GPS that I mount somewhere. I don't know where I'm going to put that in the... I keep wanting to call that thing a Fairmont. The, what do you decide to call it?
The Zed sled.
The Zed sled. Rodod says, I love the 33 Cadillac Series 355 Roadster. I don't even know what that is.
I will
Zero
look it up.
Cadillac Roadster 33 Cadillac. Zeta sled.
That's a pretty sharp car.
I guess.
I'll give him that. I'll give him that.
Some of those cars I kind of like that age, but man, I'm into the 50s, 60s, and 70s cars a lot more. There's a few of them I like outside those years. Yeah, I bet that was like that 33 Cadillac Series 355, that red one. I bet that thing just tracked down the road like a nice big heavy car. You know. Probably
I mean, in
drove well.
1933, you'd feel like a king driving down the road in one of them. Like, wow.
Mike Murphy says, I'm with you on that, Buff. I'm not sure what you're with, but I said a lot of crap.
I wonder how long the tires lasted on a car like that.
Oh, man. I remember my dad, this is 1958, we had that 5640 bought new, and he put a new set of tires on it in 58, and we drove from California to Florida to Pennsylvania to Wisconsin back to California. And he said the last 200 miles, it was 8,000 mile trip. And he said the last 200 miles, he was really worried about the tires because they were down to like bologna skins, no tread left on them. And so 8,000 miles in 1958 was a lot of miles on a set of tires. And my guess is, this was 20 years before that. They probably didn't last real long, especially when they had a lot of weight on them.
You know what I can't imagine? I can't imagine trying to drive something like this in Pittsburgh.
Oh.
In the snow and bad weather with those, pizza cutter tires oh man. I can't imagine trying to keep something like that together. I'll bet you these cars were blown out 10 years. I bet you it was like falling apart. The axles were probably bent and the bearings were all blown out of them and they were just, that's why there's not so many of them around. They probably just got rattled to pieces.
Mexican Spec says, that's a lot of spark plugs to buy at one time. Yeah, it's really cheap. You go buy the one that's messed up. No, you don't do that. Barrow says there you can see that steering tie bar on the fog lights of that Caddy. Oh, is that what that is? I didn't understand why that bar was there. Enter button, I have a 54, 55, 57s, 59 GM cars currently, but I wouldn't have a 58. Really? I always kind of like the 58 Chevy. It's a weird one, but I don't know. I think they're okay. And I'm not a big 55 through 7 uh, Chevy fan. I think they're okay. But if I had a choice of a 55 through 7 Ford or a 55 through 7 Chevy, I'd take the Ford. And even the Plymouth, I like the 55 Plymouth a lot. And the 57's it's a weird one, but it's good. And of course, 59 Chevys I like a lot. 59s and 60s I really like. Let's inspect. That's the point, Kim. You don't want to be driving that car in 1933. Your dad's car needed alignment buff. Oh no, it was all 4 tires. No, in 1958, that's as get 8,000 miles out of a set of tires. They were worn out. It wasn't the front end that
I
scuffed
remember
them off.
buying them like $20 tires on like a Chevette, and they only lasted 10,000 miles. They were just really cheap,
Well,
soft rubber.
58. That's my dad said 8,000 miles was a lot of miles on a tire back then. I remember first time I got a set of Goodyear Polyglass tires, and they said they were supposed to be good for 15,000 miles. I thought they were crazy, but they barely made it. That was in 1970, and then the Michelin X radials. Those they said they were good for 20,000, and you could get 20,000 amount. And then the tires just improved so much over the next 15 or 20 years. To the point where you're getting 40 and 50,000 miles out of them. I just never seen anything like that till I got older. Yeah, how many miles do you think the average car per year was back in the 30s? Oh, probably not a lot. Nothing like today. Here come the ads.
Mexican Spec says you drove a Chevette 10,000 miles, Kim. I'm so sorry. I drove more than that. I drove back and forth to West Virginia, and I drove it every day, probably for 2.5 years, like all the time, everywhere. I had 2 different ones. I had a brown one with an automatic transmission. Boy, was it a dog! And then I had another brown one that we painted blue, royal blue with spray bombs. I zipped that sucker around for forever. Oh, Chevettes were, they were good little shit boxes. I don't know.
Andrew Budd says 57 Chevys. Or was that? It just flicked. 57 Chevys are heavenly in all respects. One thing I'll say about the 57, they had a lot better dash than the 55 and 56s. I think 57 Chevy dash was probably pretty good. Oh, here we go. Andrew Button. That's the next thing he says. 57 Chevy, beautiful art dash. 59 dash, super cool. Yeah, 59 and 60 had good dash. 58 Chevy blah. Oh man, it's going fast. I'm gonna miss it. They went back to round. It was better. 61 and 2 was yeah, I agree. The only thing I liked on the 61 inside was the Impala steering wheel. That steering wheel, it went across like this and had the 2 little things that went down. Not all 61s had that steering wheel. I think it was just the Impalas. 38 racing for me. 55, 6, 7 Chevys are overdone. People really like those things. Dougster, Michelin X. Yeah, I remember the. I don't know. I'm old enough. I remember those things when they first came out. That was a great tire. Excellent Spec says ad for Coca-Cola.
You get 2 points. Dean Stevenson got a Channel 3 ad. You get 2 points.
What?
And Mike Murphy got a Granger ad. Well, he must have a local ad from Channel 3
ad.
So, thank you to everyone who mentioned their advertisements. We always give out points for people who mention when they have when they get an ad. I apologize that we let them run because it helps support the channel in a very small way. We appreciate you taking the time to click skip or watch the unskippable ads, and we appreciate the people who advertise on our channel because they make it all possible.
Yeah, Mexican Spec's right. That was a weird year. 57 Ford outsold the Chevy.
Okay.
I really like 57 Fords. I don't like the Fairlanes because the Fairlanes had fins were taller and they had the big swoopy things on the side. I don't like that. But like the Ford, I don't remember what they call them, the 300 or something. I really like those Fords. And of course, that 2-door wagons. I had several 57 Ford 2-door wagons. I always wanted to point. See, everybody had Chevys. When I was young, everybody had 55 through 7 Chevys, except the spoiled rich kids. They had brand new Chevelles, so or maybe a Camaro. But the kids that were my age, they had 55 through 7 Chevys, and that was in 1970. And I had a Ford. I had a 56 Ford. I had a 64 Ford and a 56 Ford. Started collecting cars even back then. Dougster says, okay, headed to bed. Good night, all. Have a good time.
Dougster!
Yeah,
Thanks
you're
for
outta
being
here.
here. Thanks for being here. Good times.
Terry Mott says 55 or 56 main line. Yeah, they quit using that nomenclature after 56. Like 57, they started calling it a 300 or something.
I'm going to pivot because I can, because I'm here and I've got buttons.
You got my buttons.
This here, I own one of these. It is a 1994 Dodge Ram 1500. It is the first year of the second generation body style. And boy, did a lot of people hate it, except for the people that liked it. 38 Racing got a Mood Edibles ad. You get 2 points, thank you. But I have one.
I mean, something
I
different
liked it because it wasn't all rusty, because it's from here down in Tennessee. It's got a lot of miles on it, but it is a very complete truck. It's got a lot of patina on it.
now.
But we did a revival video on the truck, and of all the trucks that I own, I like it the best. It's a short bed, single cab, automatic, but it's a two-wheel drive. I would like four-wheel drive, but two-wheel drive is still pretty darn good. It's a truck. It's a truck, right? And it's got it's got a V8 Dodge powertrain. It's the first V8 truck that I ever owned. I've never driven it on the street legally yet. I did zip it up to the corner once to make sure that it shifted out of first gear. It does. It doesn't have tail lights. I should get it on the road, but my van just keeps running. But anyways, I have it squirreled away for future use, and I'm really happy that I own it. It's just the 318. I have that 360. I could put the 360 in it, but I've been trying to figure out exactly what to do with that 360. Haven't decided yet. So this is my favorite truck that I own. Maybe the favorite truck that I ever owned. I had an 85 with a slant 6 in it, and it was a good, dependable, hard-working truck, but I don't know that it favorite falls into the... I have fond memories of it, but favorite, I don't know. It was a Bondo Queen. The whole bedside was Bondo and sheet metal, all tied together to make it look like a truck again. And we have that Dodge Dakota, but don't say just 318. That truck will run forever with that 5.2 liter. I mean, it's already got 200,000 miles on it.
Andrew Button, I got that picture up on but it's next in line before you scroll away.
I just wanted to mention that trucks can also be favorites, and that this is my favorite truck that I currently own. Of all the trucks that I currently own, this one is my favorite. I don't have those wheels on it, but the wheels I have on it are pretty cool. And it's green like that. That's why I brought this picture up, because it actually looks a lot like this, only dirtier and a little bit grungier. And it doesn't have the running boards. And I could do without the running boards anyways. But anyways, yeah, first year of the second gen body style. Pretty cool stuff. It's a classic because it's so old now. Can you believe that? I remember when that was brandy new, and now it's a classic.
Okay, Andrew Button
What?
brought up this. Man, I'm still.
Is One-Eyed Cat here?
One-Eyed Cat is here.
Hello.
Yeah, Andrew Button brought up this 57 Ford. This is the Fairlane that I don't really like the fins and the side on it. Kim, can you find a 57 Ford, kind of this view of 57 Ford? I think they called it a 300. I think that's what it was called. They quit calling them main lines It was always mainline, custom line, and there were 3 levels of the Ford. Mainline being the low price, they're trim levels.
Maybe
Yeah,
like
like that.
one?
Like that brown one right there.
This one?
Yeah. I
That's-
want
that's
to
the one.
compare. Yeah, I want to compare that to this. Okay, you see how that fin swoops down the side and it kind of dips right there, and the fin's pretty big. And then this one, if we can get it in there, see how the.
Hold on, let me zoom it down a little
Yeah, I was
bit.
going to say you.
Give me a minute. Technical
You
difficulties
have it
here.
there. Okay, see this one, the fin doesn't swoop down the side like that, and it's much smaller. Of course, that has some kind of custom taillight lenses in it, but that's the Ford. Is that they call that a 300 or something? That one, I like this body style a lot better than the Fairlane with those big swoopy fins. And you can swap back to the Fairlane now, that the one that Andrew Button put in.
Raw Dog says his wife has a second-end Dodge with a Cummins 12 valve. Mine does not have the 12 valve, but I've been told that that's a really good option. That makes them worth more money because people love their 12 valves. Going back to your screen.
Yeah, see, that one's got those big swoopy fins. A lot of people like those. And I don't especially like that. They just, I don't know if they're any heavier, but they sure look heavier.
Which part is the swoopy fin?
See how the fin goes along and it goes down almost to onto the front door.
Oh, I kind of like that. Okay.
Okay, now when you look at the other one, like that one is the not the Fairlane. This is the Fairlane. I mean, from the dash forward, they're the same car. That's the right thing. But that, see how that fin is? It doesn't swoop down. The fin's like half the height.
Hmm.
And it's just, I think that's just a much cleaner looking car.
Okay.
I don't know, just my opinion.
I'll take it or leave it.
That two-door sedan is sharp. Yeah, that's what I think. That 38 Racing says that. Yeah, bumper looks too big on the Fairlane too. Yeah, and that's the Fairlane also. That wasn't stock, but those outlets for the tailpipes down there, that was like a thing to do back then. Same with the fender skirts. I don't think those fender skirts were even Ford. I think that was something somebody else did. I don't know. I mean, they can be nice cars, but it's just, I like the sedan a lot better. The sedan with the short fins. What are you looking at? Oh, the Pontiac.
Yeah, I can.
He's asking about a 71 Pontiac Catalina. 71. It's okay. I like the 70 better. Oh, 71's a huge car. Huge car.
Who would drive that?
Not me.
Your uncle,
It's too big.
who sells stuff. What does he sell?
My uncle that sells stuff?
Yeah, I had an uncle, and he was some kind of salesman. Who would buy that car? That's what I'm asking. Like, who would drive that? Buy brand new, go out and buy a car just like that. It's got a certain character.
Andrew Button says that fin is more subtle. Yep. And the wagons were like that too. They had the small fin with this. They didn't have that Fairlane, a big Fairlane fin on the side. And it was years when I was young, I knew what a 57 Ford looked like. And one time I saw two of them next to each other, and I noticed that difference. It was like, man, I just
That's a demo car around here? There's none of those where I'm from. They were all gone. Well, that's not true, because everybody's a bunch of uncles. People's uncles had these hidden away. Oh, rusty and worn out that they were going to fix up someday, because to them that was something special. It's an uncle car. I don't know.
An uncle car.
It's an uncle car, right? My uncle, it's got I bet you it has an enormous motor in it. What motor would that have in it? A Pontiac.
455.
That's the thing they always put in. How big the motor was. About 450. The top would be all roached out.
So
the interior would be all cracked and.
What kind of salesman was he? What did he sell? Andrew Button, that's an engine donor for a GTO or a Trans Am. Granville was the worst. Oh yeah, Granville. I thought those looked terrible. I think the 70. I think you got a 70 there. Yeah, that green one right there. That's a 70. I think the 70 looks better. No.
Four-door.
No. you missed it. You missed
This
it.
one.
That one. Yeah, I think the 70. That was a pretty nice car to drive.
Yeah, that's a nice looking
What's
car.
weird is they had the horns behind those little grills next to the headlights. They should have had other lights in there, but the horns were there. I mean, that's about the only one of those Pontiacs that had a giant beak that I liked. My favorite of all those Pontiacs is the 67. What is this raw dog? Raw dog.
He sold services,
He's spamming
carpet
us.
salesman,
1944 Fiat.
window salesman. What else did they sell? People be out there selling. Gutter guard salesman,
Sold services.
patio enclosure salesman.
'71 Cornet. That's a four-door. '71 Cornet. That's what. Maybe it's '72. Bottle rocket. What year is that thing? Buddy Carafano. Door to door selling vacuum cleaners. Barrows, that Pontiac always reminded me of an Edsel. Oh, an Edsel was all narrow and toilet seatish looking. Yeah, that could be like a, I don't know. I don't know if it looked like an Edsel. You know, those things, that was the same thing as like a 70 Impala, same, or Caprice, same body, but I think the Pontiac was just a lot nicer car. Dash was nicer. And I don't know, I drove some of those. I was one I used to drive sometimes. Really liked it. But my favorite one was really the 67. Kim.
67 what?
Pontiac Catalina.
Oops.
I had a 67 Catalina, big two-door hardtop.
Bam!
Yeah, see that front end. Oops. He just like ducked it away.
Why is it so big?
It's a big car.
No, why is the screen?
Oh, I don't know.
Big. Let's see the thumbnails. There you go.
See that white one? Oh, mine was like that white one, except it didn't have thunder skirts on it. But I like that. I like that nose with the weird headlight, quad headlights that are kind of two of them in the bumper and two of them up above the bumper. I don't know why I really like that front end. It's just this kind of 1 year weird thing, but I liked it. Andrew Button says he thinks Bottle Rocket is a 72. Yeah, when I think about it, that's what I thought it was. I went for riding Bottle Rocket one time. Tony, we were at the drag strip, and we were the pits were like, we were way over at the edge of the pit, so there's a lot of room in front of us, just paved road. And we were going to drive down to way up at the other end of the drag strips. We're going to drive down there. And he goes, Buff, jump in. So I got on the passenger side in the back. Kathy was up front, and he jumped on it and did a freaking wheelie. No bottle yet. It was just a 318. He pulled the front wheels, and I couldn't believe it. I'd never ridden in anything like that. And it was a 318. That's what was crazy. And then that was the night that he broke the axle. It was right after that. Broke the axle. Andrew Button, they were both B bodies. Both drove like crapola. What was that? B bodies. I'm not sure what he's talking about. Yeah, I don't think Bottle Rocket's meant to do anything except go straight ahead. Tony takes sway bars off everything and puts drum brakes on because less drag and less weight.
I mean, yeah, he builds them to
drag race, you know.
That's what he wants them for. Purpose-built vehicles, you can do a lot with it less.
Like my car.
Because they're purpose-built.
My car, I'd put heavier sway bars on it because I want to drive it on the street, and if I get into a turn that's a little more than what I expected, I want to be able to cruise through it.
You know what that makes me think of?
What?
I think it's Donut. They were just doing a project, like two teams, and they're working on a Mustang, a late model Mustang, pretty new one. And they're doing a less and more challenge. The more challenge, they just add things to the car, they spend money, they dump money on. The less, they're doing things on the super cheap, right? So they have these two, and they're trying to see which one they can make faster. The one they just spend a bunch of money to put carbon fiber weight reduction stuff on, and the other one they just strip everything off the car that they don't absolutely need to lighten it, right? And the lighter one is quicker. than the one that they spend all the money. And I mean, they spent like $15,000 in carbon fiber on this car, right? And it looks nice, but it still performs as far as like sound. They don't take any of the sound deadening out of the car or any. It still drives exactly like the car did, but it's faster, right? But the one that is less, now they said it's miserable to drive. It's so clangy and bangy and uncomfortable, but it's quicker. So, like, I forget why, the less and more challenge is what I made me think of.
Mexican spec. It's up next. I just wait for Kim to switch it over.
Okay, sorry, I was blabbing around.
That's one of Mexican specs cars. Look at that, 67, which is the nose piece I like, but it's on an ambulance. You had that. Wow.
Pretty neat.
And then there's another one here he had. I don't know if it's
nothing weighs less than nothing. That's right. That's why holes are so fast.
Hey, look at that. Another. Oh, maybe it's the same one, different color. Tell us what it is. Look at the white walls on that big old, like 67. They never had white walls that big, but somebody did it. And look at the. Yeah, I like that nose.
Ambulance.
I don't know if I really want to drive an ambulance, but.
Gearhead says, good night, all. I'm out. Good night, Gearhead. Thanks for being here.
Take care. Thanks for being here.
We appreciate you. We'll be here again next
Tuesday. 2 pics of a
sure.
67 Pontiac I had. These are similar to what? Oh, similar to what you had. I thought they were what you had.
No, they're similar. This is just a tribute. This is not the 67 that I had. This is just a tribute.
Buddy Carfano sent a lot of pictures too. Who was it else was asking? Raw Dog, you keep asking for stuff. Man, put the email address so you can send some pictures. Because Kim's got to look everything you ask. Kim's got to look it up. She's pretty busy already.
I don't have to look them all up, but
she's
I've been
busy
trying
already.
to. But I'm going to take a break actually, and we're going to do some more of these email pictures, and just relax a little bit. Because we're 2.5 hours.
You know what we got here? Mexican Spec just sent one that says rear end.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to look at the rear end.
All right.
Here it is. Oh, yeah. They put the little lights there instead of the big wide lights like in the sedans and wagons.
Was that so they could make the door open?
I guess so. They can make the door open.
Every time I see any of those low-top ambulances like that with the ambulance package, I just think of Ghostbusters. Even though I know this isn't the same car, it's just like it's enough like it. It just.
I remember when that's what an ambulance looked like. It was a big old, like a
Hearse.
overdone station wagon, and they were what is this? But those ambulances are so cool. Would have been worth getting hurt just to ride in one. Now ambulances are just diesel box of shit. That last ambulance I rode in, which was after that crash I had, yeah, it was a box. It's just a box, but it was like a little clinic in there. These things were like a meat wagon.
Stop it, Kim. No more Ghostbusters. Okay.
Well, this one, it's like a meat wagon. You throw them in there and go like hell to the hospital. Barrows, Corvair. Corvair what? Did you recognize the taillights? They look like, those taillights look like, oh, what are they? The taillights. I was thinking the ones up on top, they look like giant 59 Cadillacs, but there's something special. I don't know what those taillights are. They're, what did they get those from? Because those aren't the Pontiac lights that are on the normal cars. Those bullet lights look like cab clearance lights with red lenses. Those things are huge.
If Kim would zoom in.
Oh,
I have a
zoom. Oh, here, I can zoom this one. I can zoom this one.
I can zoom too. We can both zoom.
Oh, geez. Well, now I'm out of control.
It's from Minnesota.
Minnesota. I don't know what those are.
It's a little rougher than it looks. It's a good 20-footer, but you can see the tape covering that rust hole in the back.
What Chevy had round lights in 67? Well, let's see. 67, a 67. What were the ones in the bumper? No, that's a 68 in the bumper. 67 full size had like long skinny lights. Chevelles didn't have those. I don't know. As soon as you tell me, I'll feel like an idiot because I can't remember. Yeah, look at those big bullet lights on top. Man. And then right where the gas cap, where I think the gas cap is, there's a scoop for air to go in. Yeah, what are those? Mexican spec. Oh, Corvair. No kidding. I didn't even think of that.
That is why Barrows said Corvair.
Ah, now I get it. Barrows, I have one back in my yard, 67 Monza. Now I get it. And that brings up something else. Is 38 Racing still here? What's going on with that Corvair that you put the V6 in the back and the radiator back there and everything? First time I ever saw him, I saw this Corvair, but I never figured out I didn't know it was the same guy with the 59 Chevys. I didn't put that together for a long time.
You know what I wish I had?
I don't know.
I wish I had the big recliner.
Big recliner. It's in the laundry room.
I know.
And I've got clothes on top of it. 38 Racing. Do those bullet light remind anyone of the these bras? You know what they look like? They look like plastic versions of the Cadillac bumpers. Yeah, the Dagmars. They call them Dagmars. Oh man. You know why? Dagmar was a woman that had big bazooms.
Oh jeez.
So the Cadillacs, they call them or all those cars.
Dagmar lights.
They weren't lights. They were like big bumper. Look up 56 Cadillac. Look at the front of it. And everybody called them Dagmars. I mean, that's just what they were called, you know. I mean, the Cadillacs had them for years. 50 through maybe 56, something like that. What happened?
I looked up Dagmar lights.
No, they're not lights. They're bumpers. There you go. See a blue Cadillac? That one. Yeah. They look like the red light version of those bumpers. Yeah, they call those Dagmars. And because she had Dagmar, I don't remember her last name. She was an actress. She had giant bazooms. Yes. It's somebody, who the hell was it that said that all the time?
There she is.
Oh, you got her there. Dagmar.
Ms. Dagmar.
An actress. Yeah, I mean, it was I don't know, that's what they called them. 38 Racing. I'm waiting patiently for the cooling issues to get addressed. Man, I saw that where you put the radiator, and it was like, man, I wanted to help you with that, but you're like way up there and I'm way down here. But I did Corvairs and put the one in particular that had an Olds engine in the back, and it was a whole Tornado, 66 Tornado with a 425 engine. That whole arrangement was in the back, and then we ran tubes up front like a Pantera or like a De Tomaso Mangusta, and we ran that up there and put a radiator up in the front, and then the Corvairs have those little chrome strips across there. This guy cut little tiny slits across there where the chrome normally is, and that was enough, and it worked really well. He had to let the air out of the trunk area somehow. I don't remember where he had the exit down below somewhere, but it worked really well. Mexican Specs says, don't ignore my comment. No, I'm trying not to ignore them. I'm just like running on. I parked my ambulance, which looked like it was still in service, in front of my grandmother's house when the car was over 20 years old. All her neighbors called to ask if she was okay. You had a friend that had a 59 Cadillac ambulance, looked just like the Ghostbusters ambulance, but it was long before Ghostbusters. And he used to just pull up behind somewhere and back in, like a store. So he just got front row parking all the time, parked right where he wasn't supposed to park, and nobody ever said anything. And that thing was like a 20-year-old car. Oh, that's a good Cadillac right there. Caddy Eldorado with Dagmar bumpers. That's that 58 that Mexican Spec really likes. 58. What was that thing called? Eldorado. Yeah. Barrows, anyone want a low mileage power glide transaxle with a running flat six?
Don't tempt me with a good time, Barrows.
Oh man, I want it, but I
Is
can't
that a
have it.
Corvair engine?
It's a Corvair engine with the automatic. Man, what can we put that in?
Corvair. We'd have to get a Corvair. So would that have the swing
You
axles?
put it in a Volkswagen. Oh. Okay, let's
You know, I was at that car show with my Dart over the weekend, and there's a couple of VWs, as you know, van, the stuff a Westfala, and a couple of those cars are so small. Every time I see
What?
them, they look smaller.
Corvair?
No, the VW
Oh,
Bug.
the Bug.
They're
Yes.
so friggin' little. I don't remember them being that small. They're too small. Too small. I don't want one. They're just tiny.
Here's that.
That little Spitfire's bigger than a Bug, and it's the smallest thing on earth. Oh, there's a Dagmar.
Andrew Button got a 53 Cadillac Dagmar bumpers.
Dang.
Oh yeah, Eldorado Brougham. That's right. Stray Bullets here. I always wanted to make a VW style trike or dune buggy with that setup. Yeah, that's what you do with that Corvair and the automatic. Is make a trike, except that's gonna do wheelies.
What did it come from?
What?
The V6 with the automatic. What would have that?
The V6 with the automatic. What V6?
The one that he's trying
It's
to...
a flat six. It's a
I know.
Corvair.
Okay, so it came from a Corvair, but he can't fit it in a Corvair?
Oh, he put a V6 in a Corvair. He put a V6 Chevy in a Corvair.
Okay.
Now he's got the engine that came out of it. Okay, the V6 Corvair is actually dad-in-law's, and he didn't want the front-mounted rad or cutting it to make that happen. Yeah, I can see that. But what I was surprised at, the two little slits were enough. It really worked well. And he had electric fan on the radiator, so that probably helped too. Andrew Button, have you seen a Bantam? Makes a Bud look gigantic. Yeah, Bantam's a little tiny thing. Oh, you know what else I like? Little tiny cars. The Fiat. What the heck is that thing called? The Topolino. Fiat Topolino. Now that's an old car I like. Barrows, it's a 67, so it's IRS. If you come and get it, he's the one that has that. If you come and get it, I'll give it to you, Buff and Kim, and go on guided tour of Yellowstone National Park with it. Wow, it's a pretty good run for us.
Really, how far is that? Like 10 hours or something?
Well, think of more than that.
Oh.
He's in either Idaho or Montana. I mean, he's way
Bear Rose, I would love to do it, but I cannot commit to anything like that just right now. I mean, I would love to do that. I'd love to just come and visit, see your stuff, and hang out.
Mexican Spec says, why is it painted? I don't think that's painted. I think it's just sky reflecting off the chrome.
You know what? It's probably so shiny that the white balance on the camera turned it black instead of chrome. Because you could see the reflection right there in the nose, and it... Yeah.
See, Kim, the Corvair engine has been adapted to the VW drive. See, what was a thing to do when I was like teenager was people would build those Myers Manx dune buggies and put Corvairs in them. And that was a nice car, If you like an open car, that was really a nice car.
Mexican Spec, I did own a Beetle when I was much younger, and we had some fun with it. Like, I'll give you that. But it was like a little car. I didn't ever take it on like a highway trip or anything like that. Around town to just putt around, it was fun. It had a lot of character.
Before a hippie long disappears, can you read that?
In a 64 Dart. So cars together, starts, idles, clutch is not completely disengaging, even if I put throwout bearing to touch in adjustment. So are you having problems with the...
He goes on.
I need a taller throwout bearing to make up the difference from old tall clutch pack to lower modern clutch pack. That sucks.
Andrew Bud says, BMW, I said, Topolinos are all gone. Yeah, I mean, I just said I like them. That doesn't mean I'm ever going to have one.
So there's two... What are you doing to adjust? Because the bar on one end has a cable, and the cable has to have a mount somewhere. But then on the other end of the bar, there's like a ball that adjusts. I mean, you ought to still have plenty of throw. Once you have it adjusted properly, you should have enough throw. Is the pedal hitting the floor too soon? Can you make the pedal higher in the car with an adjustment? I mean, it doesn't seem like a bearing is going to do it if you don't have enough throw to the clutch bar. And if you do have enough throw to the clutch bar, then you should be able to make it work.
And then 38 Racing down there further says, Hippie, check out, check that all the clutch linkage are matched up.
Are matched setup.
Yeah, I get it. I can't say all that. I got all tongue twisted.
Oh, that's right. It would be a Z-bar setup, huh? It seems like...
Barrow says, if I have room, I might toss that setup in the trailer to get the No Name Nationals with me. If I do, it's not coming home with me. Oh, man. We're going to end up with a Corvair.
Yeah, if you bring it, I'll have to bring it home. I was hoping to drive the Dart, but if I'm going to get something like that, I'll have to bring the trailer so I can bring the van. And if I bring in the trailer, I better get the trailer moved up out of the gully and put new bushings in the axles so that it doesn't scrape the tires and the fender. I got so much to do.
We got so many cars to take. What's this? Oh, look at this.
Wow, that's fancy.
Andrew Budd sent that. Yes, 59.
That's beautiful.
Look at the fins on that thing. That big old thing, I bet it goes straight when it's going fast because those fins. Big rudders on the back.
It's all stock. Just
I always liked, when I was a kid, I thought 59 Cadillacs were the best.
Hippie Long, the rod that goes from the Z-bar to the clutch fork, right? Make it longer and then adjust the fork on the other end closer so you have more throw. That might... Do you understand what I'm saying? It basically is the effect of raising the pedal so you have more throw. And if that rod is not adjustable, I don't know, if none of that linkage is adjustable, you might have to get a different linkage. I don't think a different bearing is going to change it. You ought to be able to get it into...
Who remembers those?
Put a hitch on the Dart.
You know what? I'm going to
put a hitch on the Dart?
will put a hitch on my car. I just don't know when I'm going to do it because we got a lot of projects going.
We need a trailer that we can put a motor and transmission in, though, to behind your...
I have that little open trailer.
I've got the Conestoga wagon trailer, although it's not really that shape. I don't know if it'll hold together. It might just flop apart in the wind.
So who remembers these?
Oh, those are the ones with the big wide bolt pattern, huh?
Buddy Carafano sent that in.
Warm.
Oh, yeah, it's hot in here. Danny Boyd's here. I'd rather have that 67 GTO. 38 says geometries may be off.
I wonder what the towing capacity of that Dart would be. I mean, that Size 6 has got plenty of power. Got an automatic. I'll put a nice big a transmission cooler on it, it'll be fine. Tell me.
Andrew Button says, we had a 59 Coupe, Series 62 back in the day. I liked it then. Cannot say I do now. 61 we had was much more balanced. I think a 61 Cadillac's a nice looking car.
38 rates says the geometries may be off. I mean, to me, it seems like it's a geometry problem. Because you shouldn't need a ton more throw on the clutch fork. I think you just have to adjust it differently.
Mohawk 62's here. How you doing? I just
Aluminum
watched
brake drums.
I
That's
just
right,
watched
those
a
would have been
video of
aluminum
yours.
drums.
Oh, I know. I left you a comment. You left me a comment about that speedometer, and it was a cheap little digital speedometer that I thought was maybe GPS based. He had it just stuck on his dash, and it was. He said he may do a video on it. I hope you do a video on that because
You can buy them pretty
kinda
modestly. Cost
I think he said he paid $4 for it.
4. That's cheap. That doesn't seem real.
Well, with the tariffs, it might be double now. Might have to pay $8 for that speedometer.
You might. If you can get one out of current stock, you might still get it cheap.
Right. If there's one in stock, yeah, you might still get it cheap. But I mean, still, it's still not a bad deal. It's a good way so you'd have a speedometer until you can get all the stuff fixed. So you just stick it up there and it would work instead of me with a phone calling out the speeds to you. That's kind of weird.
Ray says I need to get hitch on my car before September. Got some towing to do. That would be the easier way than bringing multiple vehicles. I could bring the
That's what you do.
What?
Luis says 72 Dodge Polara Highway Patrol. I don't care about a highway patrol or not. 72 Polara. I had one. The headlights are in the bumper, and the bumper is really low. So the headlights like really low to the ground. And I always liked that. But I sold that car too. Yeah, like that.
Yep.
Mine was green, just exactly like that one that says 72 Dodge Thrashing. What else is there? Yeah, I don't know. Like this one says X cop car. Yeah, pull that one up on the far left, upper left. Because that's what he was talking about, was a police car.
Yikes.
And Button says, I wonder if Checker Auto still stocks the 8-lug brake drum for the 61 Pontiac. Yeah, right. Yeah, so anyway, those things, the headlights are so low on that. I don't think they're allowed to do that anymore. But of course, those are already done. I remember the Highway Patrol had those, and they'd come up behind you. You could see them coming like a mile back because the headlights were so low. Here they come. You go, oh shit. You knew who it was. But then I had one that was like that. It was just like a medium green color. Drove it around for a while. Sold it to a friend of mine. He had it for a while. He sold it to some relative of his, some kid, 16-year-old, and he painted it purple. It's like, you got to be kidding me. He put a sunroof in it, painted it purple. What you doing? You're poking at me with something.
I'm uncomfortable.
Imperials had an odd wheel bolt pattern as well. Well, they did, didn't they? Because Chrysler did that. They were small, bigger. Because you had some of those small, or I guess we have them, some of those small 5 bolt pattern, smaller Chrysler wheels. And as the car got bigger, they were wheel bolt patterns were bigger. There's a stock PP was cooked, got refurbished from Brewers. Mexican Spec says I didn't buy trucks. I mean the 8-lug Pontiac wheels. Yeah, those things are around. I remember I working in, that was way back. I was working a wheel alignment shop. Those things, they'd come in. Hey Louise, my thumbnail tonight I think was a 69 Dodge. No, it was a 68. A 68. 69 had the divider in the grill. Yeah, send in a picture. Let's
Hippie
hear it.
Long, I'm sorry. It sounds like you know what's going on. Maybe talk to the people who make the clutch pack and see what they suggest, because I'm sure they've seen the issue before, so I don't know, maybe you're right. Maybe you have to get the custom throwout bearing. It sounds like you're going to have to take the transmission back out. I'm really sorry, because I know that's a big job and you're probably eager to be able to use the car, so I'm sorry you're running into that. Dang.
Space Cat says my grandmother had a 69 440 New Yorker. Black inside, white outside, really big and fast. Fuel tank had to be at least 40 gallons. You know, that 69 Polara or that 72 Polara I had, I don't know how big the gas tank was, but I remember it took a lot of gas. I don't think it was 40 gallons, but it was a lot. It was big. Kevin Smith, Chrysler has emblem on lower right hand fender, so you know what side is left hand thread lug nuts. Yeah, they got that little Pentastar down there on the right hand side. Only on one side. How would you put an 8-lug rim on a balance machine as to center? You know what we did? Those cars we balanced them on the car. We had one of those spin things on the car.
Really?
That's all you
I've
could do.
never seen that.
Really? You never seen one on the car?
No, I
Oh.
thought you had to take the wheel off the car. There you go. There's a machine that will balance the wheels while they're on the car.
There's little knobs that stick out from the center, and you put this thing on there and you spin the tire up. And you grab those knobs, and when you hold the knob still, it moves the weights around. So you mess with those until it stops vibrating. And you slow it down and stop the wheel, and then you can see where all the weights have to be, and you go put them on the wheel. You'd never seen one of those.
No. No. When would I ever see that? I've
I
only
don't
ever
know.
seen the ones that they have pretty modern. Because when I was a kid, I didn't balance wheels. I didn't even balance tires. Just stick them on there. I don't care. I don't want to pay an extra $10 per tire to have them balanced.
And there's the other thing you can do. You can bolt the wheels to the brake drum, and then you center it up on the alignment on the balancing machine with cones that go into where the wheel bearings go. You could do that too.
The dealer probably had all the stuff to do it.
Oh, we had it, but it means you had to pull it all apart. Of course, when we used to balance front wheels, we pull the drum off with the wheel and balance the whole drum and wheel and everything together.
Is Crash Roadrunner's garage leaving, or is he saying goodbye to somebody else? Thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
Looks to me like he's taken off.
Yep.
Thanks for being here.
All brake drums have a hole in the middle of the drum. That's right. So if you have it bolted to the drum, or the hub, or whatever it has to be.
Didn't know they were left-hand thread. Yeah, on Chrysler products, though, the left side were on left-handed thread.
I have one wheel that's left-hand threaded.
Yeah, her Dart, the left front is left-handed thread because we put a Ford rear end under it, so 3 wheels are correct and one's backwards. I don't know why they did that. It's like, how would those back out? It's not something that turns, They're a lug nut, not a nut in the center of the wheel. I never understood what their philosophy was on that. Somebody thought it was important because they did it for many years.
They aren't the only manufacturer that did it. Who else did it?
I don't know.
For a little while.
X Inspect says, I have been there. I didn't have the strength to break anything, but I learned the day I bought my Fury what left-hand threads are, yeah.
Yeah, if you look at the center of the lug,
I've seen people twist them off.
There's a
guns.
L stamped in it.
Barrow's my 40 Pontiac. Has a 5 by 5.5 pattern. Same as Ford trucks. It's only a 4-inch wide wheel. Yeah.
Nice.
Louis says, what? One more? One more. What? Don't know. Blue Grid. I had one of those old Hunter. That's what it is, a Hunter balancing machine. I forgot the name of it. You had to be careful that the part that clamped on the rim could fly off at speed. Yeah, you don't want it to come off. Yeah, it was a Hunter. It was a red thing, and it had these buttons. Yeah, you remember that? I think there were like 4 buttons or 3 buttons or something. You hold the button still, and it would move the weights around. It didn't do a perfect job, but you could make the car quit vibrating. Heavy equipment is still lefty on right-hand side.
I didn't know that.
Oh man, something itching me back here. Something got me. Jeez. You buy a car with 4 flat tires, you have to get the tire. You have to get the wheels off. Yeah, that's how my Studebaker was when I got it. There, I got it. It had 4 flat tires, and they've been flat for probably a decade or more. Bad. Mohawk says the theory was that the centrifugal force on the rotating wheel would keep the lugs tight. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
Mohawk,
that's
welcome to the
what they
stream.
could.
That was the theory, but they don't come off on cars that didn't have that, because the tightness was what kept the lug nuts tight.
Blue Grit says, Kim, there was one rolling dolly that would spin the tire on the car and a clamping ring that would fit pushing against the inside of the rim. Louis says, but what about to finish the video, the adults? We're not going to play videos on here because they're somebody else's copyrighted videos, and then we
We're
played
not
a little
allowed
bit.
to play other people's videos.
We put a little bit on there, but I don't want to get a copyright strike, and I don't want that problem. It's just like playing music on here. You can't do that. You can see, when you're doing videos, YouTube has like a catalog of music, and you can use their music, but if you use somebody else's music, you're probably going to end up paying royalties on it. And you get a copyright strike, and you cause all kinds of trouble. So we're not going to sit here and play other people's videos. I was surprised she showed as much as she did. Barrows. Only way I remember is you torque the wheel to the front of the vehicle. Oh, that's interesting. I never even thought about it that way. Oh yeah, search for the what was it called? A Hunter on the car balancer or something like that. And those are off. But you have to somehow make it so it's. Yeah, that one right there has it. That's the thing. See, yeah, it's got 4 knobs. When you hold those knobs still, it moves the weights around. You understand how that works. Yeah, you spin that up, reach over, spin it up, and then you move those things. Are you on a YouTube channel?
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think
bit.
we probably shouldn't do that then.
I don't have the sound playing.
But yeah, when you touch those, it moves the weights around. Well, our steel wheels act like lock washer on the lugs. Aluminum wheels should be checked after 50 or 60 miles. Yeah. Yeah, steel wheels are. They put pressure on it. It's like a big old spring. Yeah, see that thing vibrating like hell. See, when you hold those still, it moves the weights around. Yeah, we used to put one hand up on the fender and then do that. I think they got the idea. I don't want to play the guy's whole video here.
Okay, well, we're gonna make attribution here. This video that we got to watch is from
Odd Cars.
Odd Cars from 5 years ago.
So this is a shout out to Odd Cars.
Yes, thank you for making that video. It's interesting to us.
Even using YouTube Music isn't a guarantee they won't strike against you. Well, who was it in here? Barrows? Weren't you whistling, just like some random whistling, and you got a copyright strike from somebody that said that was their song? Oh, jeez. Ah, somebody gonna try to get something for nothing.
Stray Bullet says you have to keep talking and act like you're doing a reaction video.
Oh, a reaction, yeah.
Yeah,
Reaction
we're allowed to
video.
make a reaction to a video or discuss a video, but only a short amount of it, and we have to add content that didn't originally exist. I think in this context, I think we're okay.
About
We
30.
made attribution. If they get a strike and they get some monies out of it, like they can have a percentage, I guess.
38 Racing says, one of the shops I worked at had one of those under the bench. Never saw it in action. Man, those things used to, like in the 70s, early 70s, every shop that did wheel balancing had one of those. And most people, they'd say, oh, on car, it's on the car balance. And that was supposed to be something, you know. So it was like that was the best thing to do. But they weren't that good. I mean, you're just faking it. You make it so it doesn't vibrate, but you really didn't get the dynamic balance right. And see, dynamic balance, you got a wheel like this. Static balance means like if you put it on something, it'll, no matter where you put the wheel, it won't turn. But dynamic balance means, what if the wheel is doing this because it's heavier over here or heavier over here, and it's trying to center those weights up like this? The wheel's going like that. What you'll feel is the steering wheel going like that. So a dynamic balance puts the weights on the wheel so it's tracking true like this, not just balanced like this. So and you balance it dynamically, you won't feel the steering wheel going like this. So that's yeah, it was a big deal. That was filmed in Poland. Okay, 12-volt vids always getting strikes. 12-volt vids is always getting strikes using YouTube Music. Really? I thought we were just allowed to use all that stuff. Who's giving them a strike? Well, like I worked at a tire shop back in the early 90s. The new wheel balancers that spin the wheel are only rated to 60 miles an hour. You know, most dynamic balance will show up at that speed. Most dynamic balance by about 55 miles an hour, you'll start feeling that. Barrows, I got a claim, not a strike, on a video that I was whistling a random thing. I quit using YouTube Music when one of the artists I had used decided they wanted money. They claim your income off the video. I thought YouTube Music was free to use. I didn't think they could do that. You're kidding me.
There's some big there are big creators that use YouTube Music. I know Pole Barn Garage does it. I know Vice Grip Garage does it.
I thought
They get away
everybody
with it
I thought
somehow.
everybody was using that stuff. Yeah, well, I mean, I've looked in there and see, yeah, because that remember that video we did with all the cars going by from Power Tour? I ran YouTube Music on that.
Kevin Smith says frozen fix-a-flat will throw your tires out of balance.
Oh, I bet it would. I didn't even think about that. 30 Racing, Dad would loosen up the front wheel bearings, spin the tire, and put a weight on the top when it stopped. Because you can get the static balance just by putting the tire in different positions and making sure it doesn't turn. And if you had a solid rear axle in the back, that's all you need. But up front, if that wheel is not, if that, people say, I'll put the weights in the center. Well, that doesn't really matter because the tire might be heavier on one side than the other. That tire will try to do this, and the only way you can get that is with a good dynamic balancer that picks that up. YouTube picks on people they don't like, yeah.
I've heard of that, yeah.
Mark, I never understood how a little sandbag would balance the wheels on my big truck but somehow
I've seen it. There's this thing of balancing beads that you put in your tire. It's supposed to help. I don't know. Steve Edwards, welcome to the stream.
Steve's here. How you doing? Steve, also known as, what was his name?
I can't remember his
Boat
name.
Anchor.
Boat Anchor, yeah. CB Radio.
Yeah, CB Radio guy. Boat Anchor is his CB channel.
How are you feeling?
His YouTube channel.
We're 3 hours in.
How am I feeling? I'm hot, sticky.
Yeah, our air conditioner went out today.
Can we get air through here? I don't know. It must be getting. Let me see. How cool is it? How cool? How not so warm it is outside.
Outside.
I'm looking to see what the temperature is outside.
Has anybody been outside?
Well, it's 68. It was 80 earlier when we were hot. So if we open the door, we just got to turn the lights off in there so that the bugs don't come. Yeah.
All right. I'll open some doors. Turn the fan back on.
Lee says, I miss Peter Fond. He passed away in 2019. Yeah, our AC took a crap. It was working great, and then it just, you hear if you watch this later, you hear my whole rant. I bought this really expensive AC unit several years ago, and it's been, it's just like the new cars. It's not like a relay and a switch or something. It's circuit boards. It's these boards that do this and do that, and they got lights that flash, that like trouble codes and stuff. Just like a new car. It sucks. I wish I'd never bought the thing, because the one I had before just needed a little work every year. You'd service it and it worked fine. But the guy kept saying, well, these things getting old. You really need a new one. You really need a new one. So I bought a new one. Had nothing but trouble with that thing. Sick of it. We got ads.
It's not terrible.
I can feel cool air. Can you feel that?
Yeah, I made a difference right away.
Oh, man. She opened the door. I feel cool air on my back. Monster trucks have been using those balancing balls for years, since Dan jumped that 747 in Bigfoot. Well, that's where the fan should be. Well, Kim went out there and tried to work on the air conditioner, and we told about it earlier.
We didn't have enough time for me to finish all of the diagnostics.
And
it might be a board, but I got to confirm that there's a good connection between the unit in-house.
And you know where the unit is? In a poison ivy patch.
Oh my gosh. It's all grown up. And there was a tick crawling on me. Like, I was out there for like less than 5 minutes. I got 2 mosquito bites and a tick crawling on me. I was like, I'm getting out of here.
Look who's here. Tavo, election campaign ad. Yeah, and that's good. That's the way to say that, because we don't need to know who or which side of the...
We don't know anyways.
It's in
on the other side
Australia.
Of the
but that's a good way to put that. Good job there, Tavo. Feel for you, Tavo, yeah. Mexican Spec says top war game ad.
Oh, I've seen the Top War advertisements. Mexican Spec, you get 2 points. Sorry for the advertisements, guys.
Mohawk says, I just got some commercial for some pants. Oh, you got to say who.
You got to tell us what kind of pants. But I'll give you 2 points. But next time, I want to know the brand name. Pay attention.
We want to know who's paying our
who pays the bills?
Except unless it's election, I don't care. They're all gonna do that.
That's targeted advertisements. That's close enough for
I went an entire summer without AC once when mine broke. I just wanted to see if I could do it. Well, I can do it because I didn't used to have it, but I got kind of spoiled here. See, in Arizona, it was way too hot to not have it. But here it isn't as hot. But man, the humidity will knock the crap out of you in there.
Tavo's got a freight train. Well, the other thing is
the air conditioner just knock the humidity
it's one
down.
thing being in the house and it's warm. We are in the studio, and there are some hot lights. I mean, look at my skin. Look at the reflection in his glasses. There is light, a light over there, a light over there, a light over there, a
It
light
does
over
get
there.
warm in here.
There's a lot, and then there's these screens, and each one of these screens is probably 60 watts. So each of these screens is a couple light bulbs worth of heat going. This room gets warm. It's toasty. It's probably 90 degrees in here.
So out there where you are, Tavo, which is I think it's away from the big cities, might even be away from the small towns. How fast do trains go out there? Do they roll along at 100 miles an hour, or are they like 50? Or I'm just curious.
I have been stingy with the points tonight in general. Anyone who is a subscriber to YouTube so that they don't get advertisements, you're also supporting us, and we thank you. I'm going to award anyone like that who's listening 4 points because you have not had an opportunity all night to get an ad break. And I usually only do that once a night, and ad breaks come up every 15, 20 minutes. So,
I'm almost feeling like
gives you points.
Kevin Smith.
What about him? Did he do something wrong?
I'm almost feel like I should go redo my will so you get the Studebaker when I croak.
So he keeps asking, asking you shall receive. Nah, we gotta get that Studebaker together.
We got to make
here.
the Studebaker into something that drives.
I would love to put the Studebaker. I know you want to restore it, but I'd love to just put it back together and drive it around a little bit. Now that the motor runs,
100 to 120
the suspension
kilometer.
is so whooped out.
100 to 120 kilometer for the freight trains. 120 is
What is that? 80 miles an hour. Somebody translate that to freedom units. What is it?
well, 100 is 62 miles an hour.
Oh,
Is that right? So,
60, 70 miles an hour.
yeah, something like that. It's about like here. Same
Pretty
thing.
fast for a freight train.
Yeah,
Going
freight
away.
trains here were limited to 70 miles an hour, but they were, there's a lot of say I had a friend that was a conductor on a freight train, and he said 70 miles per hour would be the track speed, but then he goes, it depends on what's on the train, because you got hazmat, different kinds of hazmat. You might have speed limits for that car that has some kind of hazmat in it, and then of course the whole train has to conform to the lower speed. So, he had to know what was, well, that's one of the conductor's jobs. Know what's on that train and run it appropriately. Yeah, and here
LED lights shouldn't get hot. They still get hot. They don't get as hot.
you know what
They
happened?
still make heat.
Oh yeah, some of these LEDs do get, because they got heat sinks on them.
They all make heat. You're right. If they were incandescent
But if
bulbs,
they're
we would be
incandescent,
scorched.
we'd be scorched in here. Yeah.
If they were halogen bulbs, like that light over there is like a 300 watt equivalent. If it was a halogen bulb, man, it would set stuff on fire. It is still hot. It has a giant heat sink on it.
Okay.
But it puts out a lot
Kevin
of
Smith
light.
says, just teasing, but I'd love to have a Studebaker. I couldn't work on it anyway with my disability.
I'm sorry, Kevin. You can live vicariously through us. We will work on the Studebaker someday. I wish I knew when. I wish I could do all of it at the same time, but I just don't have the strength. I work on the new Spitfire project we've been working on for a couple hours a day. And some days I have to take the day off because I'm tired. And then I have other things to do. Tomorrow, we're going to have to figure out what's going on with the heating system. And before I can even ask someone to work on it, I've got to clean up that area.
Heating
If I don't want
system,
to work
which would
there,
be,
no one else wants to work there.
which is actually a cooling system right now.
Cooling system.
Where I'm sitting is a major junction for the Sydney to Perth, Adelaide to Sydney, Perth, Darwin lines. Okay, so you're right in the middle of that whole thing. Barrows, I heard the other day that self-driving semi-trucks are going to be regulated to a rail system. Don't they do that already with trains?
I've not heard about that.
Just what I want on the road. Just what I want on the road. A self-driving semi-truck. Man, that's going to hit 10 times as hard.
No, it says they'll be on a rail system. Yeah, it's called a train. It's just a self-driving train.
Kevin Smith, lucky to keep my daily running. What is your daily? I should probably know that because I know what some people's are, but I don't know what everybody's cars are.
You probably will know once he tells you.
Once he
But,
tells
oh,
me,
yeah.
I'll go, yeah. Because
Oh, yeah.
Tim, you're still here. Sorry, I dozed off for a while.
We have
Oh,
that effect on some people.
You know, every night, that's how I get to sleep. I put something on YouTube on a big screen off to my side over here, and I got a big long mouse so I can control it. And I put something on there that I'm really interested in that I don't have to look at, like some kind of a podcast kind of thing. And I'll put my head back and I close my eyes and I'm listening. I don't want to miss any of it. It'll put me out in a minute, 2 minutes. I'll be asleep. I'll wake up, the video's over.
You know what? I do feel the difference in temperature.
Oh, I felt it come. That's why I'm leaning forward. I felt it come in on my back because my back's kind of sweaty wet.
Yeah, it really helps. Let's see. Yeah, we shaved off 3 degrees.
We shaved off 3 degrees already.
Yeah, and it feels much, much cooler and less humid. Don't want to tangle with the train. Yeah, keep your distance from the trains.
Barrows. 38 Racing says Barrows for the most part, trains have the right of way. Seldom need to turn. Yeah.
Tim had a really good steak.
Man, I bought some. I rarely do this. We buy cheap food, but I bought some. What were those steaks? Gee,
Ribeyes?
Ribeyes, which for us is like that's a treat. Took them over to my son's house, and he just knows how to
They're good.
smoke stuff and cook and everything. He's just really good. And man, did those come out good. I still think we have a half of one in the, unless you got it. There's still a half of one in the refrigerator.
Oh no, it's gone.
It's gone? Okay, well, good. You got it. Oh, yeah, Kevin Smith's going to send a picture. Excellent. I want to see
it. He owns a 95 Oldsmobile gutless sedan.
Gutless wagon, it says. Well, it's a 95. Oh, I know what that might be. That's the end of the A bodies, isn't it? Tavo, we have a guided busway here. Regular buses with guide wheels run on a concrete rail line, then can turn off to continue normal road bus routes. Huh.
That's efficient.
38 Racing, we had that hot and muggy weather yesterday. Too early for me.
It's time.
Oh, well, here it's fine until the air conditioner quit, because we don't run the air conditioner that hard. We just knock the humidity down a little bit. It's fine. But when it stops, and today was warm, yeah, just the way it is. Just, I don't like that air conditioner a lot. I'm about ready to put a window unit in. It'll probably work better. I bet we get 2 scratch and dent window units and put them in this house. It'll be cooler in here than that thing ever did. Kim bought a scratch and dent unit that we put in the shop. What was that thing? $200? $100 or something? What did you pay for that?
I don't remember. 150 or something.
I don't know. But it doesn't cool the shop that much. But man, does it knock the humidity down in there in the summertime? And you walk outside and it's like, oh, like somebody hit you in the face with a hot washcloth, And I like it in the shop with that thing running. And it really doesn't run. It runs our electric bill up about $5 a month. It's not much.
Stray Bullet says the difference between a regular Cutlass and a Cutlass Supreme is that the Cutlass Supreme has tomatoes and sour cream, and I agree with that. So says Taco Bell. Would you like hot?
Kevin Smith, have to wait till next week. My pictures got deleted. Oh no. Okay. So what year is that? 95. So next week we'll expect to see pictures of 95 Oldsmobile gutless wagon.
And that's 30 years old. Wow. God,
I had so many of those, the 95s, the A bodies, they were the new ones.
Too dark out now. We understand. It's fine, Kevin. It's not a to put you on the spot.
Oh, another freight train coming past the
Oh
other way now.
man, I didn't know you had trains like that, Tavo.
I
I
li-
used to live right next to a train trestle, like a big, tall. Like my house was down here. The train trestle was literally probably 3 or 4 stories higher than my house, and it was about 6 houses up. Right, I was living on the wrong side of the tracks. You know what I mean? And yeah, the train would come by at like 2:30 in the morning, and the whole house would shake
When I lived in
for about an
Ohio,
hour.
I,
Clunk, 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 clunk,
I
clunk.
lived in an apartment in Ohio, and it was like right there was a crossing where the trains went by.
Crossing.
So you hear ding 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 ding, and then you couldn't hear the TV. I did turn the TV up all the way, and then here comes the train. You know, it's and then sometimes the train would come the other way at the same time. And as soon as it go down, you go, oh, thank God it's done. And then here comes another one, and it was just constant.
I just let
It
it
was
rock me to sleep.
so good when we moved out. I was there 3 years,
Kevin
and I
Smith
just
says she runs like she's a beaut, runs like, and looks like a new car. Color is light driftwood beige. I'm gonna look it up.
yeah, let's look
I'm
it up.
gonna look it up. It may not be your favorite, but it's your best.
95.
Oldsmobile Cutlass. Which one is it? Is it the Supreme? Did he say?
I think you said a Cutlass wagon, which would probably not be a Supreme.
We'll just say Cutlass. We'll
Yeah, but you
say.
got to get the wagon in there.
All right, we'll get it. We'll get it. We'll get it. We'll get an image here. There she is. Does it have wood on the side or no?
Is it still in the crate?
Did you unbox it yet? He says it's driftwood.
Does it have the two? No, it's a 3.1. I think just about all those had that. I remember those things. I had one, but mine was a couple of years older. The same body though. I had one that was a man,
Which wheels
like
is
an
it
80
got?
something. Mine was an 87 or an
Has it
88.
got aluminum wheels or has it got the covers?
And mine had the what I call a Pontiac Iron Duke. What they call that thing, of something 4. Tech 4 or something. It was the sideways 4-cylinder
Heck,
engine.
oh.
Stray Bullet says my parents had a Cutlass wagon with a 2.8. Kevin Smith, there's a lot of those Sierra wagons, no wood. Yep. All those ones I had, never had one with wood. The one I always wanted, see, I used to buy and sell cars a lot, of course. Just runners, something to drive, and we were buying cheap cars. And I always wanted a Pontiac 6000, never got one. I had Celebrities, which they body. I had Cutlass Sierra, and I had Buick Centuries, several Buick Centuries. My favorite ones were the ones with a 4-cylinder, which is basically a Pontiac Iron Duke, because I had failures with the 2.8s. I had 2.8s failed more than once. But they were old cars, old engines. You don't know how they were, if anybody ever changed the oil. So looks like light and gold. See, Kim, you could put light and gold in it.
I put in this driftwood beige.
Oh, driftwood beige.
Yeah, that's the color, but there's not a driftwood beige one that doesn't have the wood on it in the wagon. So you have to look at the white wagon. Does it have that front end? Did we pick the right one?
He says it has hubcaps, not.
Hubcap's not the aluminum wheel option. Hubcaps are better.
The wood is fugly, me being a cabinet maker. I always wanted to get the plastic bricks, put them up over the wood, just to make the car look a bit heavier.
Stray Bullet says he had to replace the rod bearings in his parents' car. That is a big undertaking.
What kind of car was that?
I replaced the rod bearings in my 99 5.2 liter Dodge Ram, the white one. Remember with the shoe? I did it with the shoelace.
She polished the crank with her shoelace. She took the shoelace out of her shoe, and she's up there with a shoelace. And she did a really good job on it.
That was a really,
but then
really
we had to,
dirty job.
Then we had to find her another shoelace.
And it still has no oil pressure. Doesn't wrap as bad though.
What's this? She just walked behind the purple car.
Neat trick? I don't know.
Kevin says gas out for sure. Oh, that's the color.
Yeah.
But a car final sending in more.
2.8 Oldsmobile engine. There you go. Thanks, buddy. Buddy Carfanos on top of it.
Let's see what we got here.
I'm sorry you lost your pictures, Kevin Smith. The internet can be like that.
Oh, he's thinking it's like a giant one. This is what
custom cruiser.
That's what.
That's like the family truckster size.
Now this is the one that uses more gas.
Oh man, what size motor would that have? A big Oldsmobile like that?
Probably a 350 Chevy or something.
Really?
I don't know. I don't know what they had by then.
That'd be like a 3.
That is a tank. Although it's shaped fairly well for air flowing over it.
Front wheel drive?
No, that's a rear drive. It's like a Caprice.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's probably a 305.
Oh, it could be a 305.
That was really common.
Yeah, it's a stray bullet. It says they're 5.7. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking there.
I'll bet you there's
350
variations
Chevy.
of both. Yeah.
Luis says, well, it's getting late for me. Good night and goodbye, everybody. Okay, well, take care. Thanks for stopping
We'll see
by.
you again next time, Luis.
In fact, we've been on here 3.5 hours. How are you doing?
I feel cooler, but I'd be okay if we were done for tonight.
Let's see, Andrew Button, we used a 71 Polara original car from a senior center in the Derby back in the day. Oh, no. I was told by my boss to do it. Kind of a shame, really. Yeah, I guess so. Oh, yeah, buddy car around a 350 LT1. Okay, so I think we got to do a couple of things. What are we doing? We always did a year. Every week we do a different year. Well, this time we just did our favorite cars. So what are we going to do next? What are we going to do next time? Next week, what do we want to do? We want to have something, or we just want to have a free-for-all, or what the hell we're doing? I don't know. Self-driving trains. I don't know. No, we're not doing that. That is a big old tank. Man. Kevin Smith, I found pictures, but she's loaded with my porch lift. I can get them next week. 95, man, that seems like it's a newer car for us. But I don't know, what was there in 95? Should we do 1995?
Let's do it.
Okay. But a car finds us. How about a GM week, a Ford week, then a Mopar week? I don't know, I think we're gonna do. We'll just do like people send in their pictures and everything, but let's try to make it 1995. That's really new for me. That's like a new car until I think about it, and it's 30 years old. So we'll start with an Oldsmobile station wagon. Blue Grit says, ugliest cars. Oh no. Man, what comes to mind would be terrible. Boy, I could do it. I could think of a lot of cars that would fit into that.
Oh, Kevin Smith sent a couple pictures. See if you can bring them up before we go.
Let's see. Okay.
Because he did all that work. Ugliest car ever made is the Nissan Rogue. I don't know. There's some ugly cars out there.
What's the other
Nissan?
What's a Nissan that looks like a toad? It's not even a road toadable toad. What is that thing? That Nissan, that ugly thing with the headlights like this. What is that thing? And that's not a Rogue. That's something else.
Nissan Juke. Boy, they don't
Juke.
have...
That's it. The Juke.
Okay, we get a point for that.
Oh, here we go. This is why he says.
Oh, it's got the lift out.
So, there it is. Yeah, it's exactly the car we're thinking of. It's just, it's got a big old thing in it. I can't believe you can haul something that big in there.
Sure, that's a work car.
Yeah, Nissan Juke down there. The Juke. That thing, what a horrible looking car that is.
Blue Grit
I
says
can't
that'd
imagine.
make it interesting. If we insult people, I mean, it's not like you're talking about them.
Okay,
You're just talking about vehicles.
so
That's
let's do that. Okay, we'll do that instead. We'll hit a few 1995 cars, but let's do the ugliest cars, so we
the
can have a good
ugliest
laugh.
cars you can find. Ugly car mods too.
So we can have some laughs.
Ugly customizations. Ugly, ugly, ugly.
Juke is a joke. Can you imagine going down to the Nissan dealer and buying one of those new? Oh man, who would do that?
I mean, it could just be bad design that you don't like, but I would love to see some really ugly, ugly, them Facebook ugly and stuff like that. Those ones where people were, or maybe when it's all rusted out or bent up or wrecked, slapped together, got an air conditioning unit sticking out the side.
Oh geez.
Probably pictures most of us have already seen, but it's still fun. Let's have some fun with it. She
Yeah,
can haul a lot of stuff. Yeah, Kevin. Wow.
I've had A-body wagons, and like I said, I had celebrities. I never had the olds. I had celebrities, and I had Buick Sentries. The olds that I had was a four-door sedan. So, well, I think we're gonna hang it up.
Are you
So
planning on a 4-hour live? Ugly cars, ugly mods? Maybe. 38 Racing, if we get enough submissions, we'll just go through them all.
4 hours.
The uglier, the better. Obviously, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but we'll call them questionable. Oh, I remember that Fortec engine.
Yeah, it was a four. Yeah, my old's the four-door sedan had a Fortec in it.
Well, maybe you'll find him around, Kevin Smith, and it's always valid to give us pictures of your projects and your rides.
Mexican
So you could
Spec's
send it
failing.
next week if you find it.
Mexican
Mexican Spec
Spec's
is
taking
leaving.
off.
Well,
Yeah,
we're running out of
that's
time.
because we're shutting down.
We're overtime.
Okay, so
Thanks everyone for being here. If you've made it to the end of the stream, you get 2 points. We're glad everybody. 3 trains in one night, Tavo. Dang. You guys have been great. I'm sorry if I missed your comments or were unable to follow the direction of your interest, but we do our best. It's a good time. Hopefully, everyone was entertained. It has been 3.5 hours. We'll be in the shop a couple nights this week. We got lots of projects going. I don't have another video to pop out in the next day or two, so it might be a couple more days before we had a video. But if you didn't see them, we put out like 3 videos in the last 10 days. So check our catalog if you haven't watched all the stuff we've been working on with that Spitfire.
T100 or T1000, yes, across the street in Pontiac, dude. Okay, so we'll hit that then. So good night, everybody. Take
Your
care.
hand's in my way.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Wave
got
with the other hand.
hand in front of her face.
Wave with the other hand.
But it's blocked off. It's over here where you gotta squinchy it in like this. Okay.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time. Whoop. Yeah, hit the like button. And subscribe. And hit the bell.